Hey, here we are once again. It's Friday. It's my favorite show of the week.
Yep.
It's the Sidetracks show. If you're new here, which I don't think any of you guys are, but...
Yeah, we don't get new people that often.
No topic this evening. It's just a freewheeling...
That's right.
Smorgasbord of whatever.
It's basically Open Lines Friday. And the beginning of the weekend. The weekend's here. Some of y'all are going out tonight. Some of you are just coming home from work. Some of you are just waking up, depending on where you are in the world. It's Friday. And we're going to drink. And you guys can drink with us. And we're going to usher you into the weekend. Yeah, that's right.
Come on, you guys.
Yeah, tomorrow we're going out to the club. We're not going tonight, but we're going to go tomorrow.
And I'm really ready for it because it was closed last Saturday, so we didn't go anywhere. So, I mean, we still kind of had fun at home, but...
Yeah, it wasn't as good as fun as going out, though.
It's kind of nice to go out on Saturdays. Because I could, I work at home, and I'm at home, like, pretty much all the time. So.
We saved a little bit of money, though.
That's true. We probably saved, like $120, $130 at least.
Probably.
So, it's a little expensive, but because we kind of drink a lot.
Bills kind of ran over last month.
A little bit, yeah. So we were like a little bit
that shit I had to buy.
That's
and then I set fucking buying my fucking drugs and shit. I sent like an extra $200 into cryptocurrency. I still got sitting in there. So I'm looking at my bank account going, man, I look awful fucking dry. But then I'm going, well, there's another couple $100 in crypto, so it's kind of on. But I was buying shit for the car and all kinds of stuff happened. Had to fix the faucet.
Yeah, that fucking saga.
Yeah.
He keeps busting the knob on his shower.
Yeah, I just turned the shit snap. It snapped.
I was like, you don't know your own strength, I guess.
It's not what it is.
No, that's not what it is.
It's because we have hard water. And the little valve cartridge in there got fucking bound up and it put too much pressure on the... But I looked it up to see what you could do. I said you could either replace it or you could try to free it up. And I freed it up, threw some vinegar on it, and then sprayed that out of there. And then I fucking sprayed that shit with fucking liquid wrench penetrating grease. Not the oil, but the grease. And put it back together. And it moves a lot easier now.
Yeah.
So it's not putting as much stress on those handles. I broke like 3 or 4 of those things in there.
Yeah,
they're $12 each.
He kept buying new ones, and they're like $12 each, and then he'd have it for like a couple days, and then it would break again.
No, a couple weeks. They last about 3 weeks, and they'd fucking break. And I go, what the fuck, man?
It's like the third one.
Yeah. And I was going like, I gotta find a different brand. Maybe some metal ones. There weren't any metal ones that I could find out that configuration. And there was no other brand. They're all the fucking same.
Pretty much.
And I looked up, I was talking to Grok. And Grok said, well, it's hard to turn, and it's because you have hard deposits. I said, it's got hard water. He goes, yeah, it's jammed up in there. It's making it harder to turn, put much stress on the fucking... So I was snapping it. So I got that shit settled. And then, other than that, just normal week, her working, us doing the shows.
I'm doing all the yard work.
Did a shit ton of yard work. Cut some limbs off a fucking tree with my fucking big chainsaw.
Gotta do it a little at a time because it's getting real hot outside.
Yeah, I do it little by little.
You don't want to...
Got an acre here, so I had to mow the whole acre with a ride.
We got to ride a lawnmower. Though.
Yeah.
You kind of have to, like, at a property this size.
You got to keep the shit going, man. Fucking grease guns to fucking lube the deck and all that. But it's a good one. It's a, what is that fucking thing? It's the orange one. Husqvarna. It's a Husqvarna.
Yeah.
Ride on lawnmower.
He's out there. I can see him out. I go in my dressing room and I can see him out the window out there with no shirt on.
Yeah.
Riding around.
The girls drive by just slowing down.
Going, woo.
They're slowing down.
Oh, like those 2 teenage girls that were eyeballing you at Home Depot the other day.
Yeah.
That was so funny.
Yeah.
He went to Home Depot to buy yet another shower knob.
Get a shower knob.
Which also broke.
Yeah, it broke too. Broke it the first day I got it.
But he's like, yeah, I just got to run in Home Depot. And I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to sit in the car because the air conditioning was on and I didn't want to fuck with it. Yeah. And so he was only in there for like 5 minutes. And then he came out and he's like, man, I was coming out and these 2 teenage girls and their mom. And he's like, they were just like fucking...
Yeah, they were at the checkout. I already paid at another place to walk by them.
So funny.
And the one girl's fucking, she's beating her friend on the fucking side.
She was like not being sly about it at all.
I see him and she made eye contact with me. She got real bashful.
She's like, oh, he saw me.
I was like, I saw it. I walked out and I told Jen about it. And then we were pulling out and they come walking out. I go, there they are right there. Yeah.
I don't know if they saw us when we were
No, because they can't see the
Oh, that's right. We have like
my windows are totally
black. We
black.
have tinted windows.
Yeah.
Like a pimp car.
Mm-hmm.
Which is probably good. I mean,
Yeah, my car's a pimp car.
Yeah, in case
Grand Marquis.
When you get up to stuff in there, you don't want anybody to be able to peek in there.
Yeah, I love that car. The parking lot. I know that car like the back of my hand. Because I used to work on Crown Victorias. This is the same car, but it's got that deluxe interior and the deluxe paint. Got the fucking red Toreador. It's like a dark metallic red. Blood red.
It is beautiful.
Black windows on it, fucking aluminum wheels, aluminum spoke wheels, but it's like fake spokes. They're just cut out. It's a 99. It only had 100,000 miles on it when I got it.
Yeah.
Second, I'm the third owner.
Yeah.
Really the second owner, because the first guy, I looked at the title, he only had it for 6 months.
Yeah.
Then he sold it to the old lady across the street. She had it forever, and she died.
Yeah.
And her husband sold it to me.
And she didn't drive it all that much.
She didn't drive it much, no. It's a farm. They had fucking like 5-6 vehicles.
Yeah, it's a huge farm over there.
Yeah. Got that gray leather interior.
It's fancy.
Yeah, it's pretty in there. It looks like a fucking limousine. I just wish it wished it was a Lincoln Town car, but
someday.
It's another like 16 inches of stretch for the back, and a little bit cooler interior. But I changed every light is now an LED light, including all the interior lights, so it fucking looks really cool in there. And I got super powerful fucking headlights, LED headlights. I could blind a motherfucker with them. Because these rednecks and these fucking 4x4s, these trucks, they're fucking
rude,
insufferable, man.
You drive around at night, it's like, and they won't turn them down either. No, they're just like, man, fuck you.
Yeah, and I fucking hit the high beams and shit.
It's like, be blind, we don't care.
Yeah, fuck them.
Yeah, they're dicks. They're dicks around here.
Yeah. I'm gonna change the carpet. That's the next thing I'm gonna do. I bought new fucking floor mats, like fucking high-end floor mats. It was like $100 for just the mats.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna.
They're nice.
The carpet's good, but I want a new carpet in there because I put a new headliner in it, so the interior looks basically all new, except for the driver's seat. The driver's seat got a split going down one of the leather seams. I got to take it off. I could sew that split back up, but it's a pain in the ass. But you can't see it because I got big fucking heavy seat pads.
Yeah, like seat cushions.
Yeah, and it's because it's so hot here. If you sit on a fucking leather seat, it just burns you up.
It'll just burn your ass.
It's like sitting on hot metal.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And then like you put your back against it and you're like,
oh, yeah.
You can't touch any surface in the car.
Yeah.
It's like, ow.
It looks good, but it doesn't feel good. Yeah. Once the air conditioner's rolling, it's not bad, but getting into it, man. It's
in the summer,
this is Florida.
Yeah. You get
and when it's cold in the winter, it's like sitting on ice.
Yeah.
It takes a long time to heat them up.
John Robertson is here. Says, hey guys, I finally caught a live stream. I also watched your Sinners review. It was one of the best vampire movies I've ever seen.
Yeah, good vampire
Remick
movie.
is my favorite vampire now.
Yeah.
I'm also Scotch-Irish, so that helps.
He's what?
He's also Scotch-Irish, that helps. He says, the Rocky Road to Dublin was my favorite scene. That was a great scene. I mean, the whole thing was just great scenes, but it's like, I really, really liked that.
If you're Scots-Irish, then you're the southern breed. You're the general old school white southerner is an Ulster Scot that came here, mixed with the Irish and German. And if you're African American and in the South, chances are you're about 25% Scots-Irish too, maybe 30%. But I think the average, said it was 25%. I looked it up, and African American culture is not from Africa; it's from Scotland. Because look, and they came here, and they basically couldn't take their culture with them because they didn't all speak the same language, and they just integrated into the local South, originally through the plantation system, and it was just a recreation of Scottish clans. And so you have that, it's that same kind of tribal mentality, Christian. The music's the same, We had bluegrass, they had blues, but it's just another form of bluegrass. European instruments. And then they just spread out over the United States. But all the negative shit you've ever heard written about black people, they said the same thing about Southern whites. The same thing, because it was the same culture.
Yeah, John Robertson said he's from Arkansas.
Oh, yeah.
Most of my family is Scots-Irish.
Yeah, Arkansas, that's hardcore over there.
Every time I think of Arkansas, I think of the legend of Boggy Creek 2.
I think of fucking White Lightning.
Boggy Creek 2 and the legend continues.
Yeah.
That was set in Arkansas.
I believe White
That was really set in Arkansas.
Yeah, I believe White Lightning and Gator was set in Arkansas.
I think that was in Arkansas also.
Yeah.
I've never been to Arkansas.
Burt Reynolds, man. Southern classic. That was whitesploitation. For Southerners, by Southerners. And the studio, it was not a Hollywood studio that did that. That was Nashville doing that. They made a lot of Smoking the Bandit and all that. And anything that had Dolly Parton in it and fucking Burt Reynolds and shit like that, a lot of that shit was just out of Nashville.
Well, like I said, I just think of like fucking Charles B. Pierce and Boggy Creek. He made the first... Well, okay. So Boggy Creek 2, which was on Mystery Science Theater, which is why I've seen it probably 100 times. Not a great movie, but it's pretty entertaining. But he did make The Town That Dreaded Sundown,
which is better.
Which is actually a much better film. Yeah. But that's kind of sort of loosely based on the Texarkana Moonlight murders, which were real murders that happened in
Boggy Creek was an excuse
40s?
For him and his son to hang out with some hotties.
Yeah.
And they had some hotties running around in shorts and shit.
In the woods.
Out in the woods, yeah.
With his scrawny ass son.
Yeah. With his shirt off all the time like he's fucking buffed out.
Yeah. Even though he was pretty scrawny.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, the MST guys, like, had a fucking field day with that.
Yeah. What, him being scrawny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, not just necessarily him being scrawny, but him being scrawny and then, like, portraying him as, like, just walking around with his fucking shirt off all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
Like he was some kind of sex symbol or something.
Yeah.
He wasn't a bad looking dude, but it's just kind of like...
He didn't look great.
He wasn't the type of dude that like you'd really want to see run around with his shirt off, type of thing. And the thing about it is Charles B. Pierce, who played the kind of the main doctor character and also directed it, kind of a chode, you know what I mean, and a little bit of a creep. And he and I guess he chose to portray himself in that fashion. So whatever. And but I think the highlight of the movie for me was Crenshaw. The big guy with
right. That's my kind of woman.
The guy that lived on the fucking swamp. Yeah, and like they come across his house like it's gonna storm and they're in a boat and stuff. And Crenshaw knows that the Boggy Creek creature is out there, and it turns out, spoiler alert, that he is actually kidnapped for whatever reason, I'm sure of nefarious purposes, the Boggy Creek creature's child. And so the mama creature has been like lurking around, like trying to get her kid back, as you would. But Crenshaw is like this kind of big, fat, like super rednecky dude. He's like chewing tobacco, and he has like overalls on, like with one strap undone, but like no shirt on underneath. So it's like, nice little man nipple there. So yeah, it's a whole thing. But it's like, and I think in that actor's name is Jimmy Clem.
Yeah, Jimmy Clem.
Jimmy Clem. I was like, of course it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That is a really fun episode, though.
They hillbillied his ass up. They made him look like
I wonder what that dude really looks like, because
No.
I don't think I've ever seen him in anything else.
No, that was some dude that they knew.
Yeah.
I think that might have been what you'd call here in the South a local wit.
Yeah,
it's like a local celebrity, you know what I mean?
Because I do kind of feel
like people knew that dude.
I kind of feel like Charles B. Pierce, being an Arkansas filmmaker, he's obviously gonna have like a lot of stuff like with his friends and all that other kind of stuff, like put it in there. But like I said, he did. I'm not gonna shit on him too hard because he did make The Town That Dreaded Sundown, which was actually a decent movie. Although, one thing I didn't like about The Town That Dreaded Sundown, especially because it was based on real crimes. Even though there was some stuff in there that was exaggerated and stuff, and that wasn't really what really happened, but it's like fairly close to like what really happened. But I didn't like Charles B. Pierce and this other dude play cops in it, and they're like super like comic relief, and it's like zany, and I was just kind of like, that probably did not need to be in there. Like, it's a horror movie. Like, yeah, you can put humor in horror movies and stuff like that, but I just thought it was like really silly. And did not need to be in there. It's like, why didn't they just take it seriously?
John's talking about us. Who's it?
Let's see. Where am I? Oh, I'm from Arkansas.
Yeah.
Oh, and CB said, CB also said, I can't tell you how much I love spending my Friday night with you guys. Oh, that's so nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, we love doing this show. This is, like I said, this is my favorite
show of the week.
This is our favorite show of the week because we can just drink and hang out.
This is what John said. He's 24.
I'm 24, but I was raised by my grandparents, so most if not all the things you guys talk about, I'm very familiar with.
Yeah, you know what we're talking about.
You guys are like my goth aunt and uncle. Yeah. That's what's so funny is that, like I said, and I think we've brought this up before, but I think that the gap between our generation, because we're Gen X, and our parents' generation, the boomers, I think that was the last time that the generational thing was so stark.
Yeah.
Because I kind of feel like after the advent of the internet...
Yeah, it's not like the same culture kind of...
Which, I was out of high school by then, but I was like college age, like when we first started getting into the internet. It was kind of like everything... I don't know, it's just... Because we know like a lot of really young people that are into like old shit, because it's like so easy to find shit nowadays.
Yeah, millennials and Gen Z, they're not like Gen X. They didn't grow up like we did. We were free-range children. We didn't have any supervision. We did all kinds of wild shit. We did shit that was dangerous. And that just made us kind of like... We're not risk-averse. We take risk, I think we're a little more robust. And we don't worry as much. The younger generation, they're a little more risk-averse. But we like the same movies and the same music a lot, especially if you're goth. There's no difference between an old goth and a young goth when it comes to tastes and things. We maybe grew up different.
Yeah.
Some of them might have like different social skills. Like we're pre-internet, so we're real good with face-to-face social skills. We don't really lean heavily on internet and interactions with people, like dating fucking. Online dating and fucking texting with the fucking right emoticons and all that kind of shit. We just didn't grow up that way. We do use stuff like that. We just don't really take it that seriously. Some of the, I've been keeping up on statistics and what's happening with the younger people. I mean, shit, they're having a hard time hooking up because the dudes don't know how to text right. That's what the girls are saying. They get the ick all fast and all kinds of weird shit.
Well, I've got messages that also immediately gave me the ick, so I know exactly what they're talking about.
Yeah, but no, I think they were talking about dudes that they know, though. Not random stuff.
Well, I've also had that happen.
Yeah. Well, dudes are not very good at verbal skills, especially if it's written, because a lot of the shit doesn't come off right. You know what I mean? Fucking, you'd have to be there to get the tone. My advice, man, I'm a master at dating because I never dated. I dated like a couple times in high school and dated a couple times after that. I never met any of my girlfriends or wives or anything by dating them.
All those wives you had.
I got two.
I just had two.
I got two.
Same amount of husbands that I had.
Yeah.
That I had.
You never meet them by dating them. You meet them by hanging out with them. And you become friends with them. And,
yeah, like in a...
Yeah.
In a scene where you're all kind of into the same shit.
Yeah, I would never put myself in a situation where I'm on some kind of dating app. I'm going to go date some chick. I don't fucking... No.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
You're putting yourself in a fucking loose... The last time I did that must have been probably around 2010. And I went on a date with a girl that I know. All right? She works at Disney. She's one of the Tinkerbells.
You got set up by
another girl.
Friend, yeah.
Her name is Kristen. We know her. She was cute. I went there, man, and fucking, I hated that shit. And I liked her. And I'd hang out in the club. It was totally normal. As soon as I went on a date with her, I felt like I was on a job interview.
Yeah.
Because what it does is it puts a woman in a position of fucking power over a guy. She's judging you. And whenever that happens, you will lose. Because if a woman puts you beneath her, you've already lost. Because they like to see a guy who's hard to get. So actually accepting a date was my own defeat. I should have said, nah, fuck her. She'd have been fucking... Why the hell didn't you want to go on a date with me? Nah. Oh, no. She'd be doubling and tripling down. That's what would have happened. And Jen knows I'm not lying. I get along with her now. I got along with her before.
Yeah.
But it took her a while to get over it. Because then her friend came up, you want to see her again? I went, nah. She was mad.
Yeah.
No,
well, it was just kind of an awkward...
She's not my type. I didn't really have a good time.
Yeah.
And it says, if you wanted to meet me, you had to meet me at the club. And because
like I said, it's a lot more organic kind of situation, I guess.
Yeah, meet me at the club. We have some drinks together. Fucking meet all my friends and shit. We'll dance. I'll see you the next week.
And see what happens.
Yeah, and then, and it's not like...
And eventually something might happen.
Yeah, and Jen knows I got a slow hand. I got to know you, man. I'm going to be watching you for a couple months. Every fucking weekend at the club. If you keep coming back regular, then you might be on the list if you haven't fucking done anything to piss me off. But I never really looked at it as I'm out here to get a girlfriend. I always looked at it like I want to make as many friends as possible.
I think that's a better way to look at it. Because you weren't... Like I said, goal-oriented in the way that a lot of dudes are goal-oriented.
Yeah, no, I wasn't just trying to get laid. I was just trying to make as many friends as possible.
Yeah.
And get to know as many people
dudes
as possible.
and women.
Yeah.
Because he'll go, up and start, and befriend a woman that's just, that's new there or looks cool or whatever, but he'll do that to a dude, too.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I've never seen you before, you look cool, who are you? You know what I mean? If they look like they're not... I mean, sometimes you do.
Usually that you keep coming here and you're always by yourself. But you look cool. Where are you from? Yeah. All right, yeah.
Yeah, he's done that many times.
I have to see you a couple times.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to watch you. See how you dance. See how you act around other people. I'm just... And it's not like it's plotting. It's just in my nature. Jen knows exactly what I'm talking about.
See if you know your shit.
Yeah, I want to see how legit you are.
Do you know this music?
Right.
Is your outfit right?
Yeah. Do you know this song? I can tell how cool you are by you run into the dance floor to get to a certain song, and you go, okay, I got you.
All right.
Yeah.
That'll always cheer me up too. If I see somebody.
You fought to get out there to dance to the song Bela Lugosi's Dead. You're old school. You're fucking old school.
That's very old school.
Which
I feel like maybe slightly more obscure than that. If somebody runs out to dance to the Cramps, I'm gonna go be that person's best friend.
Or an obscure Susie song.
That too. Because and not the ones that everybody knows, because everybody knows some of them, but
and some people are like wallflowers. You see them and you go, they're all right, but they're around forever and they're by themselves. Like Dawn was like that.
Yeah.
And Dawn is just, she's
been coming out forever. I remember her from Old Ibar, before we even met, I think.
Yeah.
I never met her, I never talked to her, but I used to kind of see her around, you know what I mean?
Dawn got a makeover. She got a fucking tummy tuck. Her fucking stomach is flat as a fucking
she's
board.
Our age.
She's our yeah. She's gonna get some big old implants. She said. She says I hate aging. I'm gonna go out with a fucking bang. And I says she said I'm gonna get this and that. And so you're gonna be like a cougar porn star. And she goes exactly.
Yeah.
And I said
you're all right. She was just
you're all right. So you get the fucking biggest roundest implants you can and you use them on people. She goes I'm going to. Freaking okay. Yeah. She's looking for a man. She got bills to pay. No, I'm just kidding. She's got repairs to do on her house.
I mean, she's got a job, obviously.
Yeah, she got a job. She works at the fire department.
Yeah, she's actually got a decent job.
She's a fire department dispatcher.
Yeah.
She's cool. But she gets out there, she fucking dances. She dances fucking cool, and she dances to all the fucking obscure songs.
Yeah, she knows all the obscure
only
shit.
Fucking a real player would know. Yeah.
She knows all the obscure shit.
One day I'm just like, Jen, that chick over there, man, is cool as fuck, and she's been by herself for fucking months. Says, who is that? I went over there and got her. I said,
because Tom will do that.
Oh yeah. I said, what's your name?
Come here. Who are you?
You've been coming here for years and you fucking dance, man. You are cool as shit. You know all the songs. You know, why haven't you come said anything to us? Well, I don't want to bother you guys. Come on over here. Come to the bar. I bring her over to the bar, and Jen's making out with her fucking later on that night. Fucking that's how that shit.
Well, yeah. I don't think it was that first night.
No, it was like third.
It was probably like a few
weeks
weeks later.
Yeah. We became friends with her.
Yeah. Well, she came to our house Tom was training her at the gym and
she hired me to be her personal trainer, but then all of a sudden she had to heal back up after that surgery.
Yeah, she got surgery.
And she wants to take some time off, and then all of a sudden she got a big home repair coming up. Yeah. And I think she wants to work out, but she doesn't want to do it for free. She wants to pay me. Yeah. But I ought to tell her, look, pay me when you can.
Yeah. Well, because there's a gym at the fire station where she works.
Yeah, she's working out there.
And she uses that.
It doesn't have the machines that she needs.
Right. But it's just because we do kind of live far from her, so it is kind of like a long drive. But
I got a squat machine and a hip machine.
Like a hip abductor.
Yeah, hip abductor. It's a fucking expensive, good machine.
Yeah.
Good machine. Jen's fucking kicking ass on that thing.
It's like torture kind of. But it's like
those are booty machines.
It works, I guess.
Those are booty machines.
Zach gave us a super chat a while back.
Oh, did he? What's that?
Saw a Reddit post today asking people how old they were when the first iPhone came out. Some said they weren't even born yet. I feel old
ridiculous,
now. Yeah. It's I told you guys that it's like I never really think about my age. Like sometimes I think about it, but just like in an amusing way. It doesn't really bother me. Yeah. But I thought about it again today because I was talking to Michael from A Starry Night on the phone because he called me because we're doing a like a poster and stuff for their show they're playing in Orlando on July 12th. Mm-hmm. And so I was doing the poster for it, and he wanted to like call and talk about it. And the first thing he said when I picked up the phone was, "Hey, it's your bratty son."
Yeah.
Because like when we were at iBar one time, like they had played a show, and then we all went to iBar after. And he was I never really thought about how old he was. I guess I know he was younger than me, but I just didn't really think about it. And he said something about being born in 1990.
Yeah.
And I was like, I graduated high school in 1990.
Yeah.
I was like, I could be your mom.
Yeah.
And he was like, nah. He didn't care.
They don't give a shit.
But he just thought that was funny. So he keeps like
we don't play
making jokes about it.
We don't really play the part of old people, so they don't really see us that way.
Yeah.
John's talking about, what was he saying?
CB said, yeah, teenage boys think girls like being masturbated to and are in shock because the woman in the video loves it. Yeah, I think like a lot of teenage boys, like they watch too much porn, and I think they're surprised that like real women don't like a lot of the stuff that's in porn.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, it's very visual, and women aren't visual. Women are mental. They like written stuff, like erotica, a lot better. John, what I was going to say, bro, since he understands us because he was raised more like a Gen X person. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, well, you're up in Arkansas, so you were free probably growing up. A lot of these kids coming out of the more fucking bigger cities, and they were never really free. You know, they weren't playing outside, and they couldn't run. And it wasn't just in the country. When I was a little kid in Los Angeles area, out in California, fucking Long Beach. Actually, it was Carson at that time, which is outside of Long Beach. The rules for me, and I was only like between 6 and 10 when I lived there, maybe 11, 13, 6 to 13. The rules were like you better be home before them street lights come on.
Yeah, that was kind of everybody's rough rule.
We would fucking go all over the place.
Your parents didn't know where you were.
We would fucking walk down to the fucking L.A. River and get down the flood control systems where they film.
You're out in the woods setting shit on fire.
Yeah. You could do that back then, and it wasn't safer. It was more dangerous. Pedos would fucking stop and ask me for directions. We knew what that was. We'd run. We'd run around with packs of dogs for protection and fucking sticks and shit, sharp sticks, like spears. You were like a tribe. You know, kids, boys. We'd see bums and get scared and run from them. They'd chase us. They was fucking with us, though, but we took this shit seriously. But, John, fucking, I'm going to give you some Scots-Irish homework. Go see White Lightning and the part 2 of it, Gator. All right, you can see them for free on YouTube. That's Burt Reynolds. And then once you see those, see Sharky's Machine. And that's like a undercover cop movie. A southern one had taken place in Atlanta in the 80s. And it's got some weird paranormal shit in it slightly. It's about, I don't remember Sharky's partner's name. It was the black guy, remember?
Yeah, I don't remember hardly anything.
I think he played that secret agent in fucking The Man Who Fell to Earth, right? The government, wasn't that the same actor? I think it was the same. I think it was the same guy from Omega Man. The black guy from, I think that might have been the same actor. And he plays a great role in it. And he was talking about, he had read something about psychic ability that if you could will yourself to be invisible. And Sharky's like, was played by what's his name? Burt Reynolds. He's like, no, that's bullshit. But fucking there's a part where this basically serial killer traps him and he wills himself to be invisible. And the serial killer walks right by him, points a gun at him, but then walks by him. And you go, wait a minute, hold on. Did he become invisible? it's left unanswered. Did he just use his power of his mind to make that guy not see him? It was weird. That was just a cool flick, man. Southern stuff's always got some kind of a paranormal. A true Southern Gothic has got some kind of paranormal angle to it.
Well, it's like magical realism.
Magical realism, yeah.
That's a big thing.
Yeah, it's because it's basically, it's religious here. So if it's not going to have something to do with Christianity, it's going to have something to do with the occult.
Zach gave us another super chat. He said, also, apropos of nothing, but I watched Platoon again recently.
Yeah.
Willem Dafoe was legit sexy in that. I still think Willem Dafoe is kind of sexy, to be honest.
He aged well.
He did. I think he's fucking cool looking.
He's got a weird look that looks good, yeah.
I'm into, like, weird looking. I like the kind of weird looking celebrities. Like I said, that's why I kind of like character actors and stuff.
As he got older, he got almost kind of like similar kind of style as Peter Cushing. Peter Cushing got better looking as he got older. He got more gaunt.
Yeah, and I was kind of I'm kind of.
He's just kind of like kind of attractive.
Yeah. He
was skinny.
Yeah.
Defoe was kind of like that, skinny.
Yeah.
Different kind of face though.
And kind of crazy. He always plays kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Characters.
Yeah. And Peter Cushing, kind of, you could tell that when he was young, he was like a classically handsome guy.
Yeah.
So it just looks like a handsome guy that got real old, but he still looked cool. It was like that.
American Military says, Gen Xers occupy a very peculiar place in history. Yeah, we do. We saw the transition from the Dewey Decimal Card catalog system to digital search engines.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were pretty much there like every step of the way, and we're old enough to appreciate it.
Yeah.
Which is maybe why I think we made the transition, well, most of us, like a lot easier because, like I said, we were just there for every step. Like when every new thing got introduced, here's this new thing, and then you just figured that out, and here's this other new thing, and you just figured that out. You know what I mean? But I kind of like that I grew up without that. So but then when I was still young enough to appreciate it, like, we had it after that. So it was kind of like the best of both worlds kind of thing.
I can go back and fucking listen to the Billy Idol album, Cyberpunk. You guys, it's a masterpiece, actually, even though the album bombed. And everything in that fucking album, Billy got it right. Everything he talks about pretty much came true in that album. It's a very 90s album, but it was, it was like Frontline Assembly. It was like that. It was pretty cool. But everything about the little predictions in there about what the internet was going to do for the world, it turned out to be right. And he also predicted that fucking through better science that people would live longer through fucking biotech. All right? Which even Billy did that. He was on HRT for a while. I can tell that he's not now, but I don't know what happened to him. But no, he looked good all the way into his late 50s. But I just think that's a good album, and I thought it was interesting that all that shit that I was fucking listening to him say back in the 90s came true. That there would be big tech companies that would outperform fucking like television and movies. See, that was the thing that I really liked about the internet, is that it ended up disempowering a lot of fucking archaic, fucking corrupt systems, It democratized everything. You didn't have to live on fucking 13 channels of shit, You weren't fucking dependent on cable TV. Even though when cable came out, I was fucking amazed. Because it was, me and Jen grew up originally on broadcast television. You might have 3 channels. And boy, they could channel you down any kind of belief system they wanted to, just through propaganda and just limited exposure. You never saw anything that was... Everything was fucking very conventional. When we first saw goth, we were like, in punk rock, we were like, whoa. Because it was so far out of the ordinary when we were kids that we became kind of enchanted by it.
I had a weird experience where I almost kind of like organically like was into that kind of shit. Like, because I loved Victorian stuff, I loved horror, I loved ghost stories, I loved I loved the Addams Family, and I loved all of that. I did not know until I was you know, maybe slightly, like maybe a preteen or, you know, maybe like 9 or 10, that there was a whole subculture that was into that. And when I did discover that, it was like, holy shit, because I thought I was the only person. Because I grew up in like Daytona Beach and there was nobody around that was into the same shit as me.
When I was in military school in California, we listened to a station called KROQ, K-Rock. And I got into new wave music. I was listening to Adamant, fucking Duran, fucking The English Beat. Everybody that you know, fucking Flock of Seagulls. I thought that was really cool. I liked it.
It is
but
cool.
I couldn't afford very many albums, though, because I didn't work then. I was fucking 13, 14 years old, fucking, student. So I didn't have very many albums. I had 2 Missing Person albums. Fucking one with Mental Hopscotch on it, and then the other one that had fucking Walking in L.A. and Destination Unknown. I forgot what the name of that album was. I had it. I played that shit religiously. And then I had like 2 Oingo Boingo albums. I had Only a Lad, and I had Nothing to Fear, I think is what the name of the album was. I had that. And I may have had another one. But I would just play them things on constant rotation and then listen to the radio and shit. I really got into Oingo Boingo. But then my mom got a job at the State Department and we moved to Brazil. Fucking, there's a whole new fucking world there. I love Brazil. And I was in Brazil, started getting into metal. Even though I knew a bit about metal from Mississippi, I visited my dad. They had guys were listening to Iron Maiden. And I was riding around in cars with them. They were playing the Peace of Mind album. It was blowing me away. I was like, this is really good. When I got to Brazil, I started getting Iron Maiden albums. And then Judas Priest albums. So I was big and then I started getting into more black metal, like fucking Merciful Fate and Venom, Slayer. And then this band came out, man, Metallica. And I was like, man, this is a really good fucking album. It was Kill 'Em All. And then right after I got that album, fucking Ride the Lightning came out. And I was like, man, I was fucking blown away. And that was pretty much the end of Iron Maiden, man. They never really recovered from fucking what Metallica did. Iron Maiden I still liked it, but it sounded old. Dated compared to Metallica. And then after Brazil, went to Michigan because my mother got married and my stepdad lived there. Went to high school there for a while. And when I was there, I found Bauhaus and Sisters of Mercy, and all of a sudden I started going gothic. And then I came back to Brazil, do my senior year, and I was kind of like getting into goth music and David Bowie, and I was back into like Duran and kind of got away from metal. And really, man, I talked about it with Jim before. What got me away from metal was getting laid.
Yeah.
As soon as I started getting a lot of head and getting laid and shit, metal didn't quite make as much sense to me anymore. Because of the topics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Duran made a lot more sense to me. Okay. Yeah. And I was listening to the Notorious album, which the Notorious is all just about hookers and blow.
Pretty much.
And when you're in Sao Paulo, Brazil, man, hookers and blow make a lot of sense. And it was just how to behave in a nightclub. So I learned my shit in South America. Speaking Portuguese and stuff. So I'm and being Southern and everything, that's common, but it's not common overseas. And then I picked up a lot of South American views on things. So I have a big Latin influence in my personality from an early age. I get along with anybody from Central and South America. And I can make myself understood in Spanish. I understand Spanish. I don't speak it that well, though. The Portuguese is very close. But, yeah. So having some cultural experiences at a young age fucking kind of broke me out of fucking being narrow-minded. You know what I mean? That there are other ways of doing things, And a lot of the things that made me succeed in the American market and the clubs when Jen met me was habits that I picked up in Brazil, in South America. South America's got a great fucking club scene. And they're not as frat boy there. They're smoother, more social,
Because frat boys are not smooth.
Yeah, no. Smooth, social, very, very warm, And the women, amazing, man, the women. And so here's another thing, though, man. If you go to another country, don't go there to get laid. Go there to go meet dudes. Become friends with those dudes first. Because you don't want to fucking appear to these dudes that you're some kind of fucking conquering Viking there to steal their women. You know what I mean? You're an outsider in that culture. So you have to go into that culture through the brotherhood. Become, I was speaking Portuguese before I really started dating Brazilian girls. And I had Brazilian friends. So we'd all go out together. And I'd go with foreign friends too. Like people from Europe and Japan. Had some Japanese guys go out with me. We're out fucking running around in the clubs. They were fucking tripping. They were like, man, this Japan is nothing like this. This is fucking funny, Went to school with them.
A long time ago, John gave us a super chat.
What did he say?
In my theater for Sinners during the Rocky Road to Dublin scene, everyone was stomping and clapping. It was an awesome experience. Yeah. I kind of wish everybody... I mean, the theater we saw it in was almost full or completely full.
Yeah, and it was mostly black.
Well, I guess that would be... Yeah.
Probably about 30% Caucasians. The rest of them were black. They were loving it.
Yeah, everybody was like super
fucking loving it. Yeah.
Nobody like sang along or anything like that, but everybody was like reacting to it.
Yeah.
And shit.
A lot of young black guys that were just fucking, wow, this is a fucking awesome movie. I was in there taking a leak. This movie's good. It's like, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Papa said, Jenny, does that mean Tom is weird looking? But when I said a long time ago about how I liked like weird looking dudes. No, I don't think Tom is weird looking. It's just that celebrities and stuff, I tend not to like ones that are like classically handsome. Because they all kind of look the same to me, like I said. I tend to like the ones that are, like, interesting looking.
I'm going to show him what I look like. I got pictures of it.
Let's see. I got way behind. Okay. CB said, when I was at school, I found a website for female celebrity belly buttons. Of course, somebody made a website for that. Called Celebrity Navel. I got caught on it. But I lied and said it was to get pictures of them in bikinis. I mean, That's funny. Let's see. Where is I? Yeah, American Military said Lady Gaga ripped off Del Bozio's look. Yeah. She kind of did. I mean, she ripped off a lot of stuff. I don't have any hate on for Lady Gaga, but
she was kind of admitted that
she was influenced by like a lot of that.
Yeah, and she gave her credit.
Yeah. So it wasn't like she was just trying to pretend she was like super original or nothing.
I'm gonna show them what I looked like kind of before we were a thing. Ow, my fucking wrist. That's what I looked like.
That was about what you looked like when I met you.
Yeah.
You looked like that when I met
you. Come on.
You better not mess up my lighting again.
Can't see.
Did you mess it up? No, it's all right.
And I had blonde hair at times, too. I'll show you. Let's see if I have a good blonde hair picture. Well, that's a good blonde hair picture. That's what I looked like. I look like something out of Duran Duran, actually. I always kind of looking back at those blonde pictures of me, I kind of look like fucking, what's his name from Duran Duran? Nick Rhodes a little bit.
A little bit when he was.
Yeah, I'm about the same size at that time. I wasn't fucking jacked then. I was just regular.
Everybody's talking about their first vinyl and their first CD. Yeah, John Gore said Men at Work was my first vinyl, I think. My first vinyl I remember was Synchronicity by the Police. That wasn't the first one I owned, but that was the first one I bought, like with my own money. My first cassette was The Walk by The Cure, and my first CD was Extricate by The Fall, which came out in 1989. And I remember because I was just very, very excited and to get it. I had some of their other stuff like on cassette at that point, but that was the first CD that I bought. And then John Gora said, punk captured my imagination more than any genre. Yeah, I mean, I'm super, super into punk. Like, post-punk is probably, like I said, my favorite genre, which I don't even know if I'd call it a genre. It's just kind of like a dumping ground for a bunch of things. Like, just mostly the era more than the sound, I think. Although, there is kind of a common thread, I suppose. But, I don't know. A lot of the bands that are, like, post-punk, like, some of them don't sound that similar to me. I just think they're mostly called post-punk just because of the time period that they came out. Not so much that they all sound the same. You know?
Well, after punk rock went, fucking new wave started to get kind of harder. Like, it wasn't really even new wave. It was just a type of rock, like Joy Division. But the thing is there were different versions of it.
Yeah, so everybody kind of went off in their own direction because there were so many different influences. Because I kind of feel like, I mean, punk really kind of blew the doors off in the sense of it's like you can just do stuff yourself.
Yeah.
And open stuff up. So people that were into like lots of different types of music were just like putting it all together in like different interesting ways, you know.
Post-punk tended to come out of somewhere in England or somewhere maybe like New York after 1977 or 78, 79, after that. And it could be anything as long as it wasn't metal and it wasn't real poppy. So it could also be considered like a dark new wave. That would be post-punk. More crude. Because new wave music on the radio was polished.
Yeah, it was pretty slick.
Yeah. But
to
not
greater or lesser degrees.
Not post-punk. The iconic example would be Joy Division. That's post-punk.
Yeah, I would argue they're probably the quintessential post-punk band.
But you could also say so was early Sisters of Mercy. That was
true, but Joy Division were first.
Joy Division was a lot earlier.
So, you know, they started in 77. Yeah. So, they didn't last that long, obviously, because Ian Curtis killed himself in 1980, but...
And then it became Joy Division.
No, New Order.
It should be New Order, yeah. That's what I meant. Joy Division became New Order. I wouldn't call that new wave. But I also wouldn't call that post-punk, although I think technically it would be post-punk.
What would you even call New Order?
I don't know. It was good.
I guess they're
What new wave? Even though it was everywhere.
Really, but
they played the shit out of it, but it didn't have...
They still do. Like at the 80s club, like they always play at least one New Order song.
New Order didn't... When New Order was doing its thing, it didn't sound like new wave. It also didn't sound particularly polished at that point. It had kind of a folk vocals to it, you know.
I think it was
kind of like Violent Femmes, but not quite as rocky.
Well, Violent Femmes were way more folky. They were like a folk punk band, kind of.
Yeah, I don't remember any.
They even made a fucking... I mean, their first album, like everybody fucking had that. The second one, which I think a lot of people forget, which was called Hallowed Ground, was a straight up weird gospel album.
Yeah. Because
the singer of Violent Femmes was kind of like... He wasn't a fundamentalist.
Yeah.
But he was real into... So it was almost like a guy... It was good, though. I liked it. Yeah. But I kind of feel like after the first one, like, you know, that's super iconic, the second one came out and I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, everyone was like, what the fuck is this? But they kind of got their shit back, like, in the late 80s. They came out with some more stuff that was
post
kind of popular.
Some of that post-punk gravitated and evolved into what we would fucking eventually call grunge. And I think, like, the transition would have been the Pixies, where it was kind of like post-punk and also kind of like grunge.
And
but pre-grunge.
I would assert that Nirvana...
Yeah.
I don't want to say they ripped off the Pixies because...
Similar, though.
Well, Kurt Cobain came out and said, we ripped off the Pixies. So it's just kind of like... At least he was acknowledging...
It sounded different to me, but they sounded related.
They do sound different, but not... Yeah, you can't mistake one for the other. No way.
The Pixies almost kind of reminded me of fucking the Violent Femmes, though.
See, to me, they sound nothing alike. Like, the Violent Femmes are very... And, well, they're like a punk band, but they're very spare.
Yeah.
Like, there's not much instrumentation. Like, it's very... What's the word that I'm looking for?
Spartan.
Spartan. That's a good word. Like, it's very Spartan.
The Pixies kind of sounded that way to me, though.
The Pixies was kind of more like... They had that thing where it was just kind of like quiet, 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 loud. And then it got, like, super, super... like grungy and like all this sound and stuff, but then it was like really quiet.
Go back to being quiet.
Yeah, which I think Nirvana kind of took that from the Pixies big time.
The Pixies were better than Nirvana.
Minimalist, that's a good word too. Violent Femmes were very minimalist. Yeah. Well, their first album was. Yeah. Violent Femmes, actually their first album reminds me a lot of an older band called the Modern Lovers, who nobody really talks about that much anymore. But kind of punkier than that, like a punk take. on the Modern Lovers, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I liked a lot of the Violent Femmes stuff though. Honestly, they still play every now and then. They'll play some Violent Femmes at the 80s club, and every single fucking person knows every fucking word to that song.
Anything after 2000 is pure shit. No, I gotta differ. There's some good shit that came after that. Fucking, there was good stuff in kind of like post-punk goth and cold wave stuff that came out. It was really good. Fucking like Frank the Baptist and everything. No, they were really good.
I loved like a lot of stuff that came out during the death rock revival.
Yeah.
Like in the, I want to say it was like the mid to late 2000s.
Yeah.
Frank the Baptist, Bloody Dead and Sexy, Cinema Strange.
Yeah.
There was a lot of really cool fucking bands. Like I went to New York in 2008, I think it was. Yeah. And they had this big, huge death rock festival, and it was a couple of like old bands. Like I think they had Lena Lovitch and stuff like that, but most of them were new, and they were fucking fantastic.
And you know, there was some shit
like Ausgang, but they're old.
There was some shit that was mainstream that I really liked from the 2000s. I liked Evanescence and Amy Lee. We saw her live. She's fucking great.
Yeah, I bought him tickets for a present one time.
Yeah. And yeah, they were mainstream. It was kind of like seeing fucking Linkin Park or something. But she can fucking sing. And if you understand the story of that band, they wanted to be a gothic metal band.
Yeah, you can tell.
But they added the song that made the breakthrough is, I think it's called "Wake Me Up." I think is what it was. I think that might have been the name of
their
song.
big hit.
That big hit that got them in.
I thought it was "Bring Me to Life."
Bring Me to Life. That's what it's called. Bring Me to Life. And they have a male vocalist in there that was like a guest vocalist that wasn't in the band. That was kind of rapping. That was not in the original version of that song, and he's only on that song. And they did that to try to introduce that band to the crowd. The management did. But man, it put them at the level of looking like they didn't want that. But I think it made them famous though. That song made them famous.
Well, yeah, that was their big main hit.
Because that's what people kind of wanted, that kind of shit. But it was like Linkin Park, kind of. But the other stuff on that album is fucking great, and they have the original version of that song without that guy singing on it. It's better than the first one, and she got better and better. And then that band broke up. The original band, a lot of the band members left. Moody was his name. He left. And then they tried to make a knockoff band with another girl. That didn't work out though. And then she did some solo stuff too. But she actually really can't sing, and it did have it wasn't goth music.
No.
But you would call it gothic metal, kind of like Lacrimosa was an Italian band, or Nightwish or Nightwing.
I don't remember.
Yeah, it was like that.
I didn't really like a lot of the gothic metal.
Yeah,
because that's like a whole subgenre too.
Yeah.
Some of it's okay.
I have a metal background.
It's not really my thing.
I have a metal background, so I liked it. I liked a lot of gothic metal. So, I mean, you go back and look. Merciful Fate was kind of like gothic metal, even though it had weird ass fucking lyrics. You could say some of the Iron Maiden albums were gothic metal albums.
I mean, if you wanted to go that far.
Yeah, what's that?
If you wanted to go that far.
Yeah, I think they were though. They called it gothic metal. The Peace of Mind album it says right in it. This is gothic metal.
Yeah. Well, you know, I could see that. Nigel Hawkins says, "Hi guys, finally I caught you live.
Yeah.
I went to see a Joy Division tribute band recently. They were supporting a Smiths tribute band.
Oh, that'd be good.
Not generally into tribute bands, but they were both really good. Yeah, recently I would actually go see that.
We saw a Sisters of Mercy tribute
band. A Sisters of Mercy tribute band at Wolf, and they were really good. Yeah, they were really good. Temple of Mercy.
Temple of Mercy. I got their concert shirt.
Yeah, they were really good.
Yeah,
we talked to them after a little bit. And
they were cool. We invited them to the fucking Barbarella's, but they had to go back. To the fucking...
they're like, come party with us.
Yeah, come party for the Barbarella's.
They're like, no, but but they were really good. I liked them. I was gonna say something else about like a fucking tribute band. God damn it! What was I gonna say?
What I liked about Temple of Mercy is that they did great Sisters of Mercy songs throughout all the different phases of that band. They did the First and Last and Always stuff. They did stuff that was before that, like off of Reptile House, some of the good shit that they did then. And
I still remember them doing Heartland. That was
they did Heartland.
That was pretty rad.
Yeah. There's a metal version of Heartland on Black Waves of Adrenochrome. Name of the album. It's fucking awesome. It's a German metal band that did it.
That is one kind of because we have. I think maybe one of you guys suggested it. Was it DJ Maniac?
What?
Might have suggested that album. It's a metal tribute album to the Sisters of Mercy.
It's real good.
And I think isn't it called Dark Waves of Adrenochrome? Black Waves of Adrenochrome. Something like that. Yeah. And it is actually quite good. Although I will submit that a couple of the bands did cover the same song.
Yes, you got it on there 3
times. Which probably they should have engineered that so it was just each band doing a different song.
Yeah.
Papa gave us a super chat. Thank you very much. Just because I wanted to show some love. Come on, everyone, show some love and support for this entertaining and fun couple. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Oh, what I was going to say was that there's also a band, I don't know if they're still around, but there was a band called the Daughters of Bristol that are not a Sisters of Mercy cover band. However, they are a band that sound eerily like the Sisters of Mercy. So much so that the first time I heard them, thought it might have been. They got recommended to me on a death rock forum I used to be on. Yeah. And I listened to him and I was like, is this Andrew Eldritch slumming? And pretending to be someone? Because it sounds just like him.
I thought it was Andrew Eldritch trying to revive the old system.
But
underground.
On the down low.
On the down low. It sounds just like him.
And the music and
the writing sounds just
But they don't cover Sisters of Mercy songs. They're all original.
They're all originals.
But they sound like they could have been Sisters of Mercy songs.
The Daughters of Bristol.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty
Let's do it free on YouTube. And they're inspired by all the eras of Sisters of Mercy. Not just one, not the old stuff and the later stuff, the early stuff and the later stuff.
But I don't like the newer, the later. Well, it's not new anymore.
And they also do kind of like the folk version, with just a cappella to acoustic guitar and kind of like an a cappella singing type to it. You know what I mean? Like fucking 1959. It did some shit like that.
Yeah, but I mean the original Sisters of Mercy version is pretty. It's just voice and piano, as far as I remember.
Yeah.
The original version of that.
That's what I'm saying. They did that style of stuff. Some of the songs they did like that.
I was thinking the other day, because we were riding around in the car and I have some Sisters of Mercy on my Spotify. Sisters of Mercy, say what you will about Andrew Eldritch, but they did some hilarious covers. But they played them straight. So I think that was, and I kind of like the way they did that. They did some, they covered shit like Gimme Shelter, which is probably one of the best covers. I love that fucking cover. They do a really good cover of Gimme Shelter, the Rolling Stones song. But they also did a cover of Emma, a song by Hot Chocolate. And they also did Jolene. That, the song popular. Did Dolly Parton write it, or did she just popularize it? I don't remember. But so they do a cover of Jolene, but he sings it straight. It's not, and it's kind of funny, but kind of not. I don't know. I'm really into it. They did a lot of covers. Sister Mercy did. They did some stuff you'd expect too. I think they covered the Stooges.
Who are you talking about?
Sister Mercy. I think they covered the Stooges 1969.
They covered Dolly Parton.
That's what I just said. It
Jolene,
was Jolene, yeah. Because that's what made me think of it, because that came on the Spotify the other day. And I was like, this is kind of hilarious that they covered fucking Jolene. But the fact that they covered Emma, I don't remember what the original song sounds like, but Sisters of Mercy made it epic and really, really sad. You know what I mean? And it was just kind of I don't know, it's just really funny. I think that's maybe why we've talked about them before, but why we really like this band called Death in Rome, who take kind of cheap.
That Jolene cover was a joke, though.
Well, yeah, but but the way they did it didn't sound like a joke.
No, well, I think what it was is they did that Emma cover, so kind of like Emma.
Yeah,
which is a good other great song.
Yeah, that's that's probably my favorite cover that they ever did, was that song, was Emma, but because like I said, it's super, super sad. Well, I mean, the original song is super sad. It's about somebody killing themselves, but you know what I mean. Thank you very much for super chat, Zach. There's a new band I heard of called the Lemon Twigs. It's two brothers. All their music is super 60s and 70s inspired. They even record all their music on tape. Ooh, I might look that up, actually. I'm going to write that down, because that sounds kind of cool. I like kind of all the retro shit, you know what I mean? But I'll write that down. I'll look them up later if I remember. But what was I going to say? Shit, now I can't remember. But yeah, I was thinking about all these fucking covers they did. Oh, but I think that's kind of why we got into Death in Rome, because their whole shtick is, I mean, it sounds dismissive when I say that, but it's, you know, their whole thing is that they take kind of, not necessarily cheesy, but like, you know, songs from the 80s, some from the 90s too, and just goth the fuck out of them, but they take it like completely seriously, and it totally works. Like I think their best one, my favorite one of theirs was "Love Is a Battlefield," the Pat Benatar song.
Yeah.
So they do this great, and they make it like super epic, and it's just like it's great. And they do "Take on Me," they did "Careless Whispers," a Wham song. What else? They did "Barbie Girl," that was '90s. What was that? What was that other? They did "Pump Up the Jams."
"Pump Up the Jams" is my favorite. By the way. It's a slow version, and it's got fucking boots marching. And pump up the jams. Yeah,
it's awesome.
I want a place to stay. Get your boots on the floor tonight.
I know that cracks me up.
Make my day.
He says boots instead of booty.
Yeah. Make my day.
And it's like all this, it's very like Germanic. Well, just like, because they're kind of not ripping off, but they're homaging like Death in June.
Death in June, yeah.
Who were kind of like this Germanic Gothic folk band.
Yeah, it was a Gothic folk, it was post-industrial Gothic folk.
Yeah, so they're homaging that, but but through like a lens of, we're going to take like songs that you wouldn't think would... Yeah. That you could goth out, and we're gonna goth.
They did Aha songs. They're fucking great, and they're real dark.
Yeah,
real dark.
But like, the thing about it is, like, if you didn't know, that song was a cover, you'd just be like, man, that's a cool song. Yeah, like you'd have no idea that it's like, it doesn't sound cheesy or anything.
Death in Rome.
But yeah, I love that shit.
Death in Rome, good band. And they got all their shits on YouTube.
I love that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, see, I wasn't sure. Yeah, Victor said, yeah, Dolly Parton wrote Jolene. I thought she did, but I didn't want to say.
Another good one that Death in Rome did was The Sign. I saw the sign, and it opened up my mind. I saw the sign. Remember that? Yeah. They did a real good one. And they're doing it to this fucking Czechoslovakian kind of horror movie. They made a video out of it about a guy who was killing his relatives. He owned a fucking... he owned a...
It's all this like creepy black and white.
Yeah, he's killing his relatives because he owned
Eastern European.
He owned a funeral home and a cemetery, and he's killing them because they're not Nazis. That's evidently what and it's happening after the war. He's just a crazy bitch. I forgot the name of it. I wanted to see it. There's no English dub. It's in Czech. It's in Czech.
Yeah.
With subtitles. It's black and white.
The thing about Death in Rome, I don't even know if they don't like tour or nothing like that. I don't think.
Just in Germany. They do shows in Germany.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, like, they just kind of like do songs every now and then and just put videos up on YouTube, and that's
dude with a guitar, another guy singing behind a keyboard, and the other guy with a fucking drum. He's wearing it around his fucking, it's like a military snare drum.
Yeah.
So it's hanging from his neck, or on a like that. And I think he does some timpani and stuff. It's a folk band, and they're wearing like these fucking German National Socialist looking fucking clothes, shorts, and fucking like I said, socks pulled
it's very like
fucking, looks real military,
June, like very Death in June,
very German military looking stuff. Yeah,
is what they're doing. But it was a good idea.
Yeah.
Like I said, I love their cover of "Love Is a Battlefield." Yeah. It's so good.
And it's all tongue in cheek.
But it doesn't sound like that.
No, it doesn't sound
like it sounds like they're taking it very seriously.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's just kind of like the Sisters of Mercy covering Jolene.
Yeah, if you want to check them out,
which you'd think would be like funny, but it's not funny. Like it doesn't.
Check out
funny.
"Pump Up the Jam" by fucking Death in Rome and fucking "The Sign" by Death in Rome. Check that out first, and then fucking "Careless
Whispers."
"Careless Whispers."
Take on Me.
Take on Me.
Yeah. Love Is a Battlefield.
Love Is a Battlefield.
The Pat Benatar song.
Yeah. They're all songs that you know, and they'll fucking do a dark Germanic folk gothic spin on them. You're like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, they make them like
they take the shit real seriously,
really like somber and epic, and it's just
it's
super
like
funny.
Kind of sad. Yeah,
it's super funny. Well, it just kind of made me think that this is something that has occurred to me a lot over the years, is that a lot of 80s new wave music, as poppy or happy as some of it sounded, a lot of the lyrics were like really depressing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you listen to, like if you don't listen to lyrics and you're just like, woo, it sounds like a poppy song or something like that. But if you listen to words, you're like, holy shit. Like this is actually about like everybody being killed or like a nuclear annihilation. That's not good. You know, look at fucking, I'm thinking of shit like, that OMD song, Enola Gay, which kind of sounds like this super poppy woo like that. And it's just like, it's about dropping the atomic bomb. Yeah. And I was like, in 99 Red Balloons.
Yeah.
Which is also about nuclear war.
They're throwing more money at it.
Thank you very much, Papa.
Papa's coming back at us. All right.
Here's some more love.
Thank you
from Shae. She's been missing the live shows, but has been watching when she can. Okay. Well, hey, Shae.
She's watching right now, though, right?
Yeah. No, I guess not.
Okay.
More money. Nia Hawkins gave us £5. Oh, I never saw the little pounds coming up. Cool. The Joy Division band were called Transmission. I've heard of them, actually. Yeah. Very authentic sounding and great musicians. Love your channel. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I would totally go see a Joy Division cover band and a Smiths cover band.
Yeah.
I would go see that. I love the Smiths.
He must be British because he's sending
it's pounds, yeah.
I'm telling you, man, from that era, man, the fucking British were kicking fucking ass. Everything from the British New Wave was fucking very cool.
Well, other than all the cool shit that was going on in New York, that was pretty cool.
But that wasn't quite as famous. Like the Ramones and fucking Blondie, that was our answer to that. You know, the Talking Heads.
Then you had like all that weird no wave shit, like Lydia Lunch and the Swans and all that good.
It was hard to beat the British though. They were hitting us with fucking ska. That was really good. They were hitting us with punk rock. Early fucking proto-punk fucking gothic shit, you know, like the fucking Susie and the Banshees. We didn't really get Gen X. We got that after Billy Idol had become famous.
Yeah.
Then they started sending Gen X down, the albums were mostly substandard. That was not a good band.
They had a couple good songs, but they were pretty ramshackle.
Yeah,
but that's okay. A lot of punk was.
You asked me, one of the greatest gifts to America we got from England musically was fucking Billy Idol.
He loves Billy Idol.
I love Billy Idol. He took punk rock, took that punk rock spirit and made it new wave, okay, and blended it with Southern imagery because he liked the South, and it was an American band, you know, fucking with Steve Stevens. Those two together, man, they just made fucking. The debut album was pretty good. You know, it had Hot in the City in it. It had fucking Love Calling. It had a lot of good songs on it. Fucking White Wedding. When I saw that White Wedding video, man, that was the first taste of the gothic look. Fucking Billy looked fucking great in that. With his girlfriend, and he's marrying her in a fake wedding.
Perry Lister.
Yeah. And he pulls up on a fucking KZ750 fucking Kawasaki motorcycle, which was that was a sport bike back in the day. And I was just like, that is so fucking cool. And that was kind of, I would say, and it had goth in it, and it had new wave in it, and there was something kind of punk rock and kind of metal about it all at the same time.
Yeah.
And I was going like, this is it, man. This
has
is
very
fucking
broad appeal.
Yeah. And then later he's coming out with stuff, and he's like homaging Elvis and Southern culture and shit. And I'm going like, yeah, you know, rebellion and everything. You know, I just fucking liked it. And fucking going down to Mississippi, dudes were listening to that. We were listening to that, and we were like going, yeah. And a lot of the guys really didn't sink into them that he was British. It seemed like an American band to us. It wasn't though. It was like it was an Anglo-British band.
Most of the shit that was on
British
MTV
band.
Back then was British.
Yeah, it was American-British band.
I mean, I feel that's what I remember anyway. Maybe it's just that I remembered because that was the shit that I liked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And I stuck with Billy Idol throughout his whole fucking career. I saw him live twice. The best show I've ever saw was the Billy Idol Whiplash Smile Tour. The Cult opened up for him. And Cult opened up for him, and I think... No. It was just the Cult opened up for him. I was thinking of the Sugar Cubes, but the Sugar Cubes opened up for PIL.
That was a threefer. That was Sugar Cubes, New Order, and PIL were all on one ticket.
Man, that was a good show too. Saw him at Pine Knob Theater.
That was all on one show.
Yeah.
I missed it though. Unfortunately. Yeah, CB was saying CM Punk's theme is Cult of Personality by Living Colour. I did see Living Colour at the first Lollapalooza back in 1991. I saw them in Atlanta. Saw Susie and the Banshees too.
Yeah.
And Nine Inch Nails, but I saw Nine Inch Nails like 40 bajillion times. They were always playing.
Yeah, I tell you what, Nige, man, that's fucking funny, bro, because Billy Idol was a fucking British throwaway. They were sick. They were done with him. They just threw his ass away. He ended up in New York, and the fucking Chrysalis Records fucking hooked him up with Steve Stevens, and America took that shit and ran with it, man.
Yeah, he got super famous.
We repurposed that motherfucker.
Well, I think a lot
Gen X wasn't that good, so I understand why they maybe didn't take a big interest in him. You know, that band wasn't that very good. But they hooked him up with Steve, and he fucking blew up over here. And he had the look for the time and the sound and fucking everything. It was just perfect. And he was a babe magnet, man. Girls fucking liked him. Teenage girls fucking loved that dude.
Yeah, Nige says, yeah, Shrewsbury, UK, that's where he's from. Love all his bands. Went to see Billy Idol more years ago than I care to admit. He was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never got to see Billy Idol.
Oh, he was great, man. He's just such a showman. And it was after his motorcycle wreck for the Whiplash Smile Tour, and he comes out and he's fucking hobbling. He's got a fucking leg brace over his fucking leather fucking PVC fucking pants. And he puts his leg up on top of the monitor, and he had a fucking dagger down in his boot, and it pulled it up, and it looked like a big Gothic cross. And then he stuck the dagger into the monitor like that, and then did the whole show. Yes, with that fucking. As soon as he walked away from that dagger, though, a fucking road crew dude went in there and grabbed that fucking dagger and took it. Yeah, it was fucking great. Fucking great.
Zach says, what about the Beatles? LOL.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, but I mean, we're talking about. I love the Beatles. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it's like we're kind of talking about a different era, though.
We're talking about in our era.
CB says, I heard Billy Idol fucked Boy George and was a dick to him afterwards. I have always heard that rumor, too. I don't know if it's true or not, though.
Probably not true. If everything I've known about Billy Idol is that he was just into girls.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, unless everybody got really drunk or fucked up on something and some shit went down.
Probably
shit happens, you know.
What's probably closer to that. The truth is that they're all fucking high at some party, and fucking they're hanging off of one another, and he fucking made out with him, and then got rid of him.
I could see that.
Probably some shit like that.
I kind of feel like Boy George made like their whole entire like Culture Club, their whole early career was made of songs about him and his fractured relationship with that drummer guy.
Well, the drummer guy was straight. He kept fucking a straight dude.
What was that dude's name?
I don't know.
John Moss or something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah, Boy George.
But yeah, they had a whole thing. Like, it was like an off and on thing, and like he kept singing songs about it. That's so funny. Like,
back in the day, man,
when you're in a band and it's like you're in a relationship with the person in the band, and then like if you keep breaking up or you have fights or something, and then like you write songs about it, and then you go out and sing, and it's like everybody knows that you're like talking about that person.
In that situation, though, the dude that he's making out with in his band, he was a real good looking guy. He looked like a model, blonde guy, and women kept throwing themselves at him. And fucking, he'd fucking try to hook up with them and fucking piss off fucking Boy George. But I think he was hitting anyway. And then they'd break up.
I mean, they were probably all hitting. I imagine.
And what was funny is I remember as a kid, I'd look at Boy George and say, that dude looks like a girl. I look at him now and I said, no, he didn't look like a girl at all.
No, he doesn't.
In those days.
I never thought he did.
Yeah, I said, no, he didn't look like a girl at all. In those days.
I just thought it was a cool look, you know what I mean? He had his own thing going on.
Yeah.
I didn't think he looked like a woman, though.
No, in those days, you didn't see dudes dressing like that. So the only thing your mind could come up with is like, that's trans. That looks like a girl. Nah. And I think he was trying to look like a girl at the time, but it doesn't look like a girl.
No.
Like
I said, it never really occurred to me.
It looks like a girl in the way the fucking Twisted Sisters look like girls.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And like I said, the 80s were a very gender-bending era.
Yeah.
So
all those motherfuckers were wearing their girlfriend's pants, and the girlfriends were doing all their hair and makeup like fucking Motley Crue and shit. It's all gender-bending shit. And their girlfriends were all strippers anyway. So these dudes look like fucking strippers.
And then on the other end too, you had like early like Eurythmics, like with Annie Lennox, like with her like always like her hair cut really short and like a man suit and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, and I loved that. I loved that look.
That red, really short hair.
Yeah, that looked so cool. I thought that was so awesome.
In her business suit.
Yeah,
she only did that for that one album.
Yeah, that was just mostly like
but she got really known for that.
Yeah,
and that was kind of a shocking look.
Yeah.
For a young person to see that back in the 80s.
Even though back in the day, like Marlena Dietrich used to
that's what I was saying. That's really nothing
like that's
to do.
probably who she was in.
Go back to the 20s, and you had a lot of famous women actresses that wore suits,
like and had real short hair.
Had real short hair,
yeah.
That was a thing in the 20s. They had lesbian bars. People don't realize how decadent the past was. They always think that back in the days they were all uptight and conservative. No, they fucking weren't. You haven't been looking at history, even American history. The 20s was fucking wild. More wild than the 60s. And the 60s were fucking wild. In the 70s, man, they tolerated shit they would never tolerate today. There was nudism going on. I'd go to fucking... I was a little teenage boy. I'd go to fucking Yosemite National Forest out in fucking California, and it's nothing but fucking naked teenagers and fucking people in their 20s walking around fucking swimming in the lakes and shit. You know, nudism was everywhere back in the 70s. And age didn't really matter. There was a lot of stuff. People would go to jail. They were having sex with underage people, by I understand it. But that was, like, pretty normal. You know, guys in their 20s hooking up with girls that are, like, 14, 13. That was fucking common. And the other way around, too. 13, 14-year-old boys fucking going out with girls in their, you know, some girl in her fucking 20s throwing some pussy, you know. And they just thought it was, like, a joke.
Victor says Richard Pryor and Marlon Brando were fucking, so anything's possible. I have heard that also.
Wouldn't surprise me. Marlon Brando's a fucking crazy motherfucker. He was crazy, though.
Yes.
He wasn't gay. He was just fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, you know.
There's no telling what Marlon Brando might do.
True.
I saw him in an interview fucking just reach over and just kiss a motherfucker in the mouth.
Yeah.
And the dude just put up with it. Yeah.
It's just like, okay.
Because what you do is Marlon Brando.
Brando's gonna Brando.
Yeah. You know?
Yeah, CB said the Billy Idol and Boy George story was in the Boy George drama on his life. It was called Worried About the Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he might...
I mean, I don't doubt it. I'm sure
something... He may have been exaggerating for street cred.
Sure. But, I mean, something might have happened. Because, like I said, we've all been in... Well, I don't know. We've all been in situations where... Everybody's kind of drunk or on various substances.
All kinds of weird shit.
Whatever, and, you know.
No, you don't take any of that shit seriously when you're fucking partying. I'm not talking about, like, straight on letting a motherfucker hit you in the ass. That's not what we're talking about. No, you just let a motherfucker hit your ass and fucking you're sucking dick and shit. That's serious, if you ask me.
That is kind of
that actually counts, okay? Yeah. But, no, some of the shit... I've had motherfuckers, like, fucking crazy-ass fucking... Dr. fucking Michael come up and fucking plant a fucking loop, kiss on me and shit while I'm talking to somebody else at the club. We're drunk and he's drunk. He's just being fucking crazy. It's just funny, you know.
And he kind of does that to everybody.
Yeah, he does it to everybody. Everybody's used to it. Like, and he goes, "I love you. Yes, I love you too, bitch." Fucking it doesn't mean nothing.
Yeah.
It's just part of the fucking party scene.
CB says Boy George and Steve Strange were frenemies. Yeah, I did know that. Yeah. I actually read Steve Strange. He's sadly passed away now, but he wrote a book called Blitzed, which was about him opening the club Blitz that started that whole new romantic thing. And many, many, many years ago, I met Steve Strange's mom because Steve Strange's mom was friends with my ex mother-in-law. Yeah. So when I was in Wales, when I was living in Wales, we actually all went to visit her. So that was a little weird. You know what I mean? Like meeting Steve Strange's mom. It was just a regular mom.
Another great British classic from this era that we didn't really get in the United States was Dave Vanian and the Damned. It was here, but it never really got... It never really got promoted the way it should have, because Dave Vanian and the Damned were fucking really good. But they never really got traction here. I don't think they had enough promotional money behind them.
Yeah.
Susie, we had more Susie than him.
Although she didn't get real big until probably like the late 80s.
Late 80s, yeah.
The Damned were always kind of like...
album.
Yeah, I kind of feel... What was that, 84, 85, something like that?
I thought that might have been as late as 87.
No, I think that was earlier. But,
And yes, Madonna was a ripoff of fucking Susie.
Well, yeah.
When she appeared.
Well, I mean, she came from the club scene too, so she kind of knew her shit.
She knew what was going on.
But the thing about the Damned, though, is that the Damned are kind of interesting because they started out as like a straight up punk band. I mean, if you hear their first singles, New Rose, and that kind of stuff, which is a great fucking song, that's a straight up punk song. That's a punk rock song. But as time went on, they really kind of shed that and went in interesting directions. Some of their shit from the early 80s, I would argue, almost sounds like prog rock a little bit. Like, it definitely has a prog rock influence. Not that I'm complaining about that. I'm just saying that they definitely went, like, in a different direction after. But I like their early punk shit, too. Like, I like all their really old shit. But all their shit is good. Shit, man, they put out an album in... Well, it's old now, but I think it was sometime in the 2000s called Grave Disorder that I really, really liked. That I listened to that, like, a lot. It was kind of... I don't even know what I'd call it. It's kind of goth rock, but not really. It had kind of psychobilly. Had a little bit of psychobilly vibe to it, which I was kind of into because I like a lot of psychobilly shit too.
If you guys could go ahead and like the video, please. If you got it. Okay.
Yeah, CB said Marlon Brando was a bastard. He raped the girl in Last Tango in Paris for real. Yeah, I heard that. I've heard that story.
Wouldn't surprise me.
That he wasn't supposed to, but he's like, hey, I'm Marlon fucking Brando.
I'm Marlon fucking Brando.
What are you gonna do?
I can
do
whatever. Put the dick down on you. Yeah. This dude's too big for the britches.
Yeah. I haven't seen Last Tango in Paris in a long time. Didn't he put like butter in her ass or something? Like a stick of butter? Like, didn't he put a stick of butter in her ass? Like to lube it?
Marlon Brando?
Yeah.
I don't know. I never heard that story.
Yeah.
Sounds like something that...
Wasn't that... No, I think that was a scene in the movie.
It was a scene in a movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, Last Tango in Paris. It was very, very controversial at the time, that scene.
Lube her up with some butter, huh?
Which, I don't know, man.
He should have known it should have been bacon grease.
Yeah, pro tip. Pro tip is like using bacon grease for lube.
Bacon grease. We talking about butter.
At least you kind of smell good.
Yeah. Smell like bacon.
Like, ooh, honey, you smell like bacon. I'm gonna get in there.
Some of that hickory smoked bacon from the deep south in the crack.
You know that they make fucking sex lube that smells like hickory smoked bacon. I mean, they must.
Fucking right.
They make condoms
maple hickory
that taste like various things.
Yeah, curry.
I did, like, one time, and this was going back many years, when I was in the UK, I was in a train station, and I went in the bathroom, and there was a condom machine in there. They had regular-ass condoms, too, but they had flavored condoms, and the flavor they had that day was chicken curry. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here.
Imagine you had all these Indian dudes buying that. Take the curry one.
The curry one.
Yeah, that's fucking funny.
I mean, they had kind of quote-unquote normal flavors, too, like strawberry and shit, but it's just kind of like, I was like, chicken curry.
I guarantee you, all the
guarantee
all those flavors only tasted good for a few seconds, then they started taking like nasty perfume. You don't
Probably.
You don't want anything fucking...
Or they don't taste... Yeah, it's like... And I kind of feel like, is that even... That's probably not good for your dick or for your mouth. Or for your pussy, for that matter. Like, you don't want all that crap.
And what's funny is that's obviously a hooker... That's a hooker condom because fucking... That's for oral sex. That's for getting blown.
Yeah.
That's a hooker condom.
Because you're making, like, the hooker wants your dick to taste good. Because maybe you haven't washed your dick.
Yeah. Yeah, wash your fucking shit.
Dudes.
Wash your shit, wash your crap.
And maybe she would rather have it taste like fake chicken curry than whatever nasty-ass smegma that, like, you
fucking nasty bitches.
Run around in your dirty-ass underwear. So, you know what I mean?
I was watching a fucking show with all these hookers. All these hookers on there. Experienced hot call girls. So they were, like, high-end, too. And they were just talking about how dirty dudes were.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Just dirty. Fucking one chick fucking pulls down a dude's foreskin and there's just all this fucking crud fucking dried
like
up.
He didn't realize that you had to clean under there?
She's trying to pull it off.
I've heard that.
She said it was killing him. He's like, no, I got to get this off here.
I've heard that.
And it's just killing him and shit. And she had to shut it down. She's like, no, they're not going to do this. And he had to pay a booby prize because she called, he called her out there.
Yeah.
Wash your shit, dudes. If you're not circumcised,
like, come on.
fucking wash your shit. Fucking if you don't have no hairy crack with all kinds of fucking dingleberries and shit and sweat and shit.
And then make some poor woman get down in there.
And fucking try to get on there and fucking licking up on your fucking little fucking donut hole and shit like that. What are you talking about, man? Put yourself in a woman's position.
Yeah. I don't think a lot of dudes can do that. I don't think
they can even do that unless somebody's got...
No. I think that's probably part of the issue. They're just like, why the fuck? Yeah. Washing your ass is gay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or whatever.
And they were complaining about... These were European girls. They were Eastern European girls. And like some of them were... And they said the worst was Italy. Just said that's where a lot of the problem was. Now, they said there were problems in every country, but they said Italy was fucking pretty bad. The rich dudes there are dirty.
Because they're like, I have money. You have to do what I want.
They have money and they're fucking dirty.
So I don't have to wash.
They don't fucking wash under their shit. They don't fucking... they don't fucking...
I have heard that there
stink.
is a subculture of dudes that think it's gay to wash their own ass.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how true that is or how common that is, but I have heard that that's
making these poor Russian girls service that shit, fucking stinking to high heaven.
Yeah, can you imagine? It's like, ugh. Luckily, I've never, like I said, I don't have a huge body count or anything like that, but it's just like I've never encountered it.
You didn't step on any landmines.
No.
Yeah.
I managed to avoid that, thankfully. But I've heard enough horror stories from other women that...
And I got a fucking command to y'all women. Across the globe. Fucking, I got a big body count. Triple digits. And fucking, y'all are fucking fastidious most of the time. I never ran into any problems. Never ran into... Everybody was nice and fucking ready to go. But, I could pick them, too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I fucking...
Yeah, you weren't picking out ones that looked like dirty drug addicts or anything like that.
But, I had good ones. You know what I mean? They were fucking nice. No problem. But women, especially back, and maybe it's just that generation or whatever, I don't fucking know, women had good hygiene standards.
Well, I think that's largely the case. More than the other way around, because women are a lot more... One, we're a lot more aware of other people's reactions to us. And we don't want to be seen as dirty or gross or anything like that. Like most women are just very, very averse to being seen as gross in any way. So they will go above and beyond.
Yeah.
Like they'll think about shit that dudes probably don't even think about.
Yeah. Soon as I was old enough to fucking watch porn, fucking I could get my hands on it in the mid-'80s in Brazil. I started to notice that. I said, man, these dudes fucking, they trim and shave their shit.
Yeah.
So I started doing that. And
probably a good idea.
And I never had any fucking... Because you just stay so much cleaner.
Yeah.
And then when I got into the Army and into the infantry, learned all about going commando.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know what the fuck that is. When you're living in the field as an infantryman, sanitation is fucking...
You don't want hair.
You don't want any body hair. And with the MREs, they don't give you a whole lot of toilet paper. Okay? And they give you a little bit of toilet paper and some fucking handy wipes. If you're fucking hairy... You're marching and you're wearing underwear and all that shit rubbing with the sweat coming down and all the fucking dirt in your crack and shit, you will get fucking burned up.
Yeah.
So we had a fucking thing we called going commando. You don't wear underwear. Shave your shit. Keep it clean. Open your fly when you're fucking marching and fucking carrying a fucking rucksack so you get some ventilation.
Get some breeze.
Because we had a BDU top that had fucking big panels that would cover up your fly anyway.
Yeah.
So you try to get a lot of fly. You didn't want underwear. It would just chafe you.
Yeah.
And so would hair.
Yeah.
So you had to... So, in the day, when you're in more of the elite infantry units, the chances are most dudes were commando. Which is like out of the porn movies. You're fucking bald and fucking clean and no underwear.
Yeah.
People think going commando is just no underwear. No. It's no underwear and shaved.
Yeah, shave everything off.
Yeah. Yeah. And
much cleaner.
Much cleaner and a lot less chafing. And you can keep yourself clean in the field because you can't shower. You're just cleaning yourself up with handy wipes.
Yeah.
Toilet paper and handy wipes. And you're out there for fucking months. Well, yeah. I think the longest field exercise I did was fucking Team Spirit in South Korea, and that was about 70 days. Yeah. Living in the field in the winter.
Yeah.
It was rough, bro. Like some shit out of Jeremiah Johnson.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, I feel like most women even if they don't, because I know some women are like, they don't really shave their armpits, or they don't shave in the winter or something like that, which I get that. But I don't really like the feel of hair, honestly.
It's rough.
I started shaving my legs when I was really young. I did actually leave pubic hair. I trimmed it.
Yeah.
But I did leave that for a while, but then...
You had a little patch.
Yeah, I had like a little patch, and then after all, I'm like, fuck it, I'm just shaving all of it off. I shaved that off.
Bring the patch back, though.
I shaved off my eyebrows. I shaved everything off. I'm like, fuck that. Yeah, I don't mind the look of the little patch. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's all right, too. But, I don't know, it's just easier to just shave it all off. Just shave everything off. It's just much easier. Much easier. I don't have to worry about it. Because I kind of feel like before, when you're trying to like... Well, it's just kind of like my eyebrows. It's just kind of like... I had eyebrows, and like tweezing them into some kind of shape was a much bigger pain than just completely shaving them off and just drawing them back on. You know what I mean? Because I did decide, I was like, maybe I'll grow them back. And I grew them back, and then I was like, nah, this is a huge pain in the ass. I could never get them to look right. And like drawing them on is a pain in the ass too. And I never get them even. But it's much easier than trying to like get in there with it. But I don't have time for that bullshit. I just don't. You know? And I can't afford to go have them done. Like because, you know. And honestly, my natural eyebrows, and it might be worse now, because I'm on, hormone replacement. My natural eyebrows are very, very thick. I had fucking Wolfman Jack eyebrows. So I had to tweeze them like quite a bit, like to make them look like something other than like a fucking werewolf. So I don't know. I just didn't have time for it. And like I said, I can't really afford to go have them done. And it's like, even if I did go have them done like a week or two later, they would be like fucking crazy again. So it's just much easier to shave them completely the fuck off. Shaved it completely the fuck off. Yeah. Nige says, different subject. Loved your video talking about the Vortilac. Yeah, that movie that we reviewed.
Yeah. That was a good vampire movie.
Saw it again recently. Loved it even more. And Caveat, creepy as hell. Yeah, I reviewed that. You didn't see it, but I reviewed it. Yeah, and I actually...
the Vortilac was the one with the fucking puppet vampire.
No, yeah. I said Caveat, the other movie he mentioned. Okay. I saw it. You didn't see it. That's what I just said.
Oh, Caveat.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the name of the movie.
I just reviewed it. I reviewed that because I had reviewed Oddity, that dude's second movie, which was my favorite movies from last year. And I remembered that he had done Caveat and I'd never seen it. So I went back and watched it, and it was really good. I think I liked Oddity better, but Caveat was really good. It was so fucking weird. Like, what a weird premise, but I was like really, really into it.
Yeah.
I need to do another. I haven't done a movie review since... It's been 2 or 3 weeks. I just haven't had any time. Like, I've had so much work to do. Yeah. The last one I did was The Visit, that M. Night Shyamalan movie, which I actually kind of liked. I didn't think I was going to like it, but I thought it was pretty good. I've been wanting to do... Somebody asked me to do The Empty Man, which I've been wanting to rewatch anyways. And a couple people have recommended some other stuff that I kind of wanted to get to. So eventually, maybe this weekend, I don't know if I'll have time, but I kind of want to get around to it. But and before I get too far into it, I totally forgot to mention this on Wednesday. But if you guys liked my Faceless Villain true crime books that I did, the trilogy that was all like 20th century, I just put out a new one, which is all unsolved murders from the year 2000. Like, it's just 1 year, so it's like a little bit shorter than the other ones. Like, I think it's about 200 pages, maybe like 180 pages, something like that. But I decided, because I was going to do 20 years in one book again, and then like I started writing 2000, and I'm like, holy fuck, this is so long. It was like, this is almost like a book by itself, and I'm just like, why don't I just do each year by itself, and then I won't feel so fucking, like, it won't take me fucking 5 years to finish this shit. So yeah, I just have the print book and the ebook are available. I'm eventually going to do an audiobook, but those take a long time to do. But eventually I will have one. But the print book and the audiobook is up there. So it's just called Faceless Villain, Arezo Unsolved Murders of the 21st Century, and then it's 2000. And then I'm just going to do each year subsequently. Like, just as its own book. Because, like I said, it was getting to be too long, and I said, Jesus Christ, if this book is 20 years of unsolved murders, it's going to be like a fucking dictionary. So I'll just do each year as one book. That's what I did. DVD Dragon says, and Nige said, I absolutely love Oddity. Oddity was so fucking good. It was so good. That was like easily one of my favorite horror movies from last year. It was just so creepy. DVD Dragon says, Tom, have you seen any of the footage from the alpha male camps? Pay as much as $18,000 for a 3-day camp. Looks like Timu Special Forces training.
Yeah. Man,
I'm gonna go pee. Hold on.
I ought to look something like I ought to look at that.
He's gonna go out with it
because who knows? I might be able to get a job training them bitches.
You should offer some shit.
Because I have the credentials to get on some shit like that.
You could get all kind of money.
There, the shit that I did see was a real private military training school. I think it was called One Shepherd, something or other. One Shepherd. They have a YouTube channel, and basically what it is infantry AIT, or Infantry Advanced Individual Training. Then they have unit training. And it's the same deal. You pay, $5-6 grand. And I think you're out there for about a month, though. They give you real equipment, blanks, AR-15s, Miles gear, which is the laser tag gear that you fucking put on there. And they run you through fucking like squad and platoon, individual squad and platoon tactics. They got the GP mediums, and you live out there, just like a regular Army field problem. And the cadre are all ex-NCOs from Army and Marines, and they're all infantry guys. And I've seen the advertisements for their school, and I was like, man, that's actually a pretty good school. It's exactly the same kind of training. I think they even had a live fire course that you went through. But what's funny is that, like they said, that a lot of the guys that are in there that buy the course are already infantry. They're veterans. Like me, they just miss it. They want to go back to it and polish up. I think it was called One Shepherd is the name of the unit. And it's a private military training academy. Now, some people were like, well, that's not real training. No, you don't know SF. In the special operations community, their real advanced training isn't done on military bases. It's done off of military bases in private training academies that also have civilians in them. Some of the shooting stuff. Another one that they do is they would send them to places that were like independent contractors who train police, and they'll send fucking special forces guys there to learn how to fucking drive cars and do pit maneuvers and shit with specially equipped cars that you can bump them off the road. They'd also send them to fucking locksmithing. This is back old fucking SF, old Delta school. They send you to these locksmithing schools that teach dudes how to pick locks, which is fucking some wild shit. Never thought about that. But part of those old school special forces missions, pre-internet era, they weren't doing fucking computer hacking. What they did is they'd fucking have you break into somebody's office building and fucking go through the files, and fucking you had to learn how to pick locks. They did that. But all that kind of training that SF used, all the real good shit, was actually sourced from the civilian market. So were their weapons. They might have fucking special AR-15s made by Colt, but they weren't military contract weapons. They were just bought off the rack. Different barrel lengths, little fucking cars, little short car 15s and stuff. Because if you're a special forces agent, your unit can tell you, just go down there and go get one of those things from fucking Colt, we'll pay for it. Because they would buy all kinds of individual shit, just experiment with it. Exotic grenade launchers and stuff. And so they're like bought on real small levels, to try them out. So a lot of the Delta Force fucking AR-15s were actually, they're not marked U.S. government property. They were marked, they had civilian markings on them. And they also weren't all the same, different barrel profiles in the same batch. They might buy 7 or 8 of them, and they look like something made out of a parts bin. Weird.
High Desert says, are you going to see Bring Her Back? I do want to see that, and you know why I mostly want to see? I've been hearing a lot of buzz about it. I haven't watched any reviews of it or read nothing about it or nothing, But I was scrolling through my shit on YouTube, and Cody Leach, one of the horror channels I subscribe to, his review of it said on the title card, "I need a shower and a hug." And I was just kind of like, okay, I need to see this then. Because he's like I don't want to say he doesn't like anything, but he's a pretty stringent critic. So if he thinks something is disturbing, then it's probably like pretty disturbing. So I was like, okay, I probably need to see that then. I don't know. Maybe I can go this weekend and see it. Perhaps, if we have time. Yeah, Nige says, looking forward to bring her back. Really impressed with Philip Brothers Talk to Me. Yeah, I liked that movie too. I don't think Tom liked it as much as I did, but I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, maybe we'll go this weekend and see it if it's playing around here. We kind of live out in the butthole of nowhere, so not quite, but we usually get the movies. But we have to drive. We have 2 movie theaters that are about, I think they're about the same distance from us. Same distance. It's like 17, 18 miles, yeah. But that's the closest ones that like show anything worth. And they're both, I think, are they both AMC theaters? They're both AMC theaters. But like in opposite directions. But I am kind of excited about that. I have been hearing a lot of buzz about it. But, trying to keep up on shit, but it's hard sometimes. And like I said, it was kind of the end of the month, and we were sort of running out of money a little bit. So, in a way, like, we wanted to go out last weekend, because we always go out. But then we were like, maybe we shouldn't. It's like, because we're kind of broke. But then we found out that Barbarella was going to be closed anyway. So we're like, oh, well, I guess that solves that problem. So we don't have, because, by the time we go, because we got to buy gas, because it's about, it's 25 miles or something like that, like each way. And then there's a door charge. That's like $10 each. And then the drinks. So we usually end up, between both of us, like between the door and the gas and the drinks, it usually ends up being like $150, like for both of us. So, but it's fun. And like I said, we didn't go last week, and so I'm really, really looking forward to going tomorrow.
Oh yeah, I need to get out of here. Get some club time.
Yeah, because like we didn't go last week, and then the weekend before that was Memento Mori, so it wasn't 80s.
Yeah.
Which I like Memento Mori, but I like 80s better.
Yeah.
I like the 80s night better. It's a slightly there's a big overlap. It's a lot of the same crowd, but the music is slightly different, and the vibe is slightly different. And I usually don't dance as much, because the 80s night, like everybody there is. Not everybody, but a lot of people there are like our age, and they're all regulars. Like we all know them, and so everybody gets like wasted, and everybody's like dancing like crazy people, and it's like pretty fun. But so yeah, and then we usually have a good time on the way home too.
She gets crazy in the car. I had to pull over and take care of her. It's all good though. I was trying to scout out some places today, but I didn't see anything.
Yeah, like he told me, like he went to the store to get some, because I told him, like, because to get some juice, like, to mix with the booze. He's like, man, I was driving around the neighborhood, like, looking for some places where because honestly, like, what we usually do is on the way, well, I think we talked about this before. Yeah. On the way home from the club, we usually take a route that goes kind of near where our old house was. Like, actually right past our old house. Yeah, right past it. Because we go by that 24-hour McDonald's and, like, get some nugs or a quarter pounder or a Big Mac or something. Like, on the way home. Because it's open all night. And then, sometimes, if the mood strikes, which it usually does, there's our old neighborhood had, like, it's gated, so you can't get in the back entrance unless you have, like, a pass. Like, it'll open automatically if you have a pass. Obviously, we don't have that anymore. But there is, like, this weird parking lot situation there, kind of. It's like a little bit like
a guest parking lot,
like a little guest parking lot with like a little park thing with a lake over there, and nobody's there at night.
Yeah, and it's got a fucking
path. Dirt, and it's got like a little path, like a little walking path with like all these trees overhanging, and you can't really see it. So like sometimes we'll pull in there like to throw the trash away, and like sometimes shit happens, and
throw the McDonald's trash away,
and we end up
you might be throwing down on her, man, just tearing it up.
having
it's
sex,
funny,
having
man.
sex against a tree, like right on the side of the road.
And there may be people in those other cars having sex too.
I mean,
there's no telling what could happen.
Like I said, it happens sometimes. Yeah. Although that said, like, because we were just having a good time and like leaning against a tree and stuff, and it kind of seemed like, I mean, there was nobody around. It was like 3 a.m. But so we're doing this, and I'm just like, man, like, the street is right there. Wouldn't that be fucking crazy if somebody drove by, like, a cop or something? But when we drove by there, like, a few days later, like, during the day, I was just kind of like, and I saw the tree, and I was just like, well, you can't really see it that good from the road. Like, you can, but at night, I don't think anybody would see anything unless they were really looking. Yeah. So I think so, if somebody was driving by there, they probably wouldn't notice anything.
Jen will jump out of the car with nothing but fucking corset or bra on and fucking shoes. And her fucking top. What are you doing? I was like, man, we're okay. All right. She's just fucking crazy.
I'm like, come on.
She's like, come on. Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah.
All right. What's rough, man, I'm telling you, as a dude, especially a dude in his 50s and shit, I'm fucking chemically enhanced always, but after alcohol, you know what I mean? I always kind of tend to lose fucking interest in sex. When she drinks alcohol, especially if she's making out with them girlfriends of hers, man, she fucking just ready to go.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm just like fucking...
Because all my inhibitions have disappeared.
Yeah, I'm like, I kind of just want to sleep.
So I'm just kind of like, let's do some crazy shit.
This is quite an opportunity here.
Let's do some crazy shit.
All right, okay, need meth.
That's another shirt we need to make. 13 o'clock. I need meth.
Yeah. Need something to fucking wake me up, because at the end of the night at this club, after all that dancing and shit and all that alcohol, I'm usually kind of sleepy.
Yeah, then, for some reason.
And then I'm eating. We just ate before that shit. We'd be eating McDonald's and shit.
Now, see, normally, because I've told you this before.
Yeah.
Like, if we've just eaten, especially if it's kind of like a heavy meal or something, it's just kind of like, I gotta lay down for a little while and, like, digest. I don't really feel like doing anything. But for some reason, the alcohol, it makes my stomach problems go away. And I'm just like, let's go. You know what I mean? So, I don't know why that is. I'm not real entirely sure, but I don't know. That's just kind of the way it works. So so usually I'll get like pretty, well, like I said, the shit's happened with some girls there at the club, and nothing too egregious, but
Jen's got like 3 of them after her.
Yeah, well,
they're all friends of ours.
Yeah, we know them. It's not like, like I said, it's not like, it's not like we're trying to poach anybody or
no, they're all single
or anything like that. But
with somebody saying that I should need to go on SAS. What is it? I don't know what SAS is.
It's a TV show.
TV show?
SAS, Who Dares Wins in the UK.
Yeah, I don't know that one. Must be like a paramilitary theme.
It's probably similar to... They have shows like that here, like reality kind of shows. They did a boot campy one. I don't remember what the name of it was. Or Navy SEAL. I don't remember.
They had one here in the 90s called Ranger Olympics.
Oh, yeah, I kind of remember that.
One of the squad leaders from my platoon back in the fucking 506 was in it. He was like a regular. His name was Sergeant Beaucamp. And he was Ranger qualified. He had fucking Ranger tab and shit. Up in Korea, he was a fucking bastard, man. We used to call him Skeletor. He was a good Ranger, though. Skinny. Face looked like a skull. Just mean, real cruel. We were all new soldiers. We were our whole fucking cohort. We all came out of the basic training together and all went into that unit together. We were what was called a cohort platoon. And that way, when you go to these units and you know everybody already, which makes it a better transmission into the fucking active unit. Fucking Beaucamp, remember him? Yeah, you guys, he's like that, Yeah. He's like one of those guys. Mean. But he was on that television program. I think it was called Ranger Olympics. Yeah. I don't know if he was active duty though during that, or if that. I think the U.S. Army was using that show as a recruitment thing. That was back in the fucking 90s, man. Army Rangers fucking was hellacious. Fucking, I didn't make it through the fucking Ranger fucking Ranger indoctrination fucking tryout to go to RIP. Didn't pass the swim test. They tried to send me to Ranger School. I was in a recon platoon. And when I didn't make it through that Ranger School, fucking, they were like, yeah, we're going to get you out of the recon. Because the fucking recon platoon, it was kind of like a Ranger production machine. That's how they wanted to look at it. But I was like, dude, I got fucking 9 months left. You know? I really don't want to be a lifer. I kind of want to get out of the Army. So they moved me to the line. I didn't give a shit, though. My fucking... I was getting kind of sick of it at that time. They just fucking... 101st Airborne was just fucking running me to death. Even though it was easier than Korea. Just... You get sick of the fucking monotony. Just the same thing over and over again. And your fucking libido's going crazy. You're in your 20s and you haven't had a girlfriend in fucking 4 years. You know what I mean? You want to live a normal life.
Yeah.
And most dudes would do that. A lot of the guys who are long-timers, man, they'd do 4 years and they'd get out for 2 years and then they'd come back in for 4 years and then they'd get out for 4 years and then they'd come back for fucking 4 years. And one of my squad leaders was a fucking Vietnam veteran back in the 90s. You know, he was in and out like 5 times. Because you need a break from it, you know. And they count all that time, so you can still retire. Every time a war would happen, he'd join back up. And the U.S. was constantly at war with somebody. Which was stupid. Didn't get anything out of any of that. Just made a bunch of money through the contracts, paychecks. Fucking fuck the world up. Attacking countries and killing civilians that really didn't need to be killed, like Iraqis. They didn't do anything wrong, really. It's fucking terrible. That's why all that shit's got to come to an end, man. Fucking, the U.S. was never designed to be an empire, and they tried to run it like an empire. It's just a bad idea.
Zach says, have you guys ever thought of doing a show about all the abuse in the Boy Scouts? I hadn't, but that actually might be a good topic. I just wrote it down over there.
Yeah.
CB said, Tom and Jenny, you should go to a fetish bar. I think you would like it.
We go to them all the time. Been to many.
Yeah, we've been to like lots of fetish parties. I've been to a few fetish bars in my time.
Fucking went to one of the best ones in Boston back in the day all the time. Fucking every fucking week. It's called Fetish Factory. And but you know,
they have one of those in South Florida.
Yeah,
too.
Fetish Factory. Yeah. And then you know they got one of the best fetish club in this area is fucking the Castle.
Yeah, they have a whole ass dungeon downstairs. So, but yeah, it's fun.
That's not the fucking wild shit. The wild shit's happening at Secrets Resort. You can find it on Instagram.
We'll go
in
one
fucking Florida.
Days. It's kind of expensive though.
It's expensive, yeah. That's where
I don't know. Like I'd be interested.
A lot of our friends go there. It's a swap fucking club.
Well, you don't have to do that. Yeah.
You don't have to do anything you don't want to do.
Yeah. You can just go and like have people watch you or watch other people. Or you can swap if you want to, or you know.
Yeah.
You can swap if you want to.
You can just party like it's a normal club.
Yeah.
It's you know, and it's nice. It's very high end. And it's got a swimming pool, and it's got nightclubs in it and bars. And it's a hotel with themed rooms, and it's, you know, you can rent a room. It's you got to be a member. It's not really open to the public.
Well, they don't want just any Tom, Dick, and Harry wandering.
Yeah, it's like couples only or single women.
They do have, as far as I know, because I think a lot of lifestyle resorts have this, but they'll usually have one night a week where single dudes can come there. But usually they try to keep that to a minimum for obvious reasons. You know, so usually it's couples or but you have to have a membership.
And that's where, and it's not, they have older people there, but it's a pretty young crowd. I've seen pictures of the crowd, and, you know, my ex and her boyfriend, they've sent me videos of them fucking around in the fucking parking lot with fucking these women and dudes and shit, and fucking pictures inside the room of them fucking having orgies and stuff. I got all that shit on video. And it's
he sends us all. It's
he'll say, look at this. You know, I'm like, oh
that's
shit.
That's what we did this last week.
Yeah, and then like all that shit it's kind of younger people. You know, mostly like late 20s, 30s, and your local porn people go there a lot because it's a safe environment for them. You know, if they get recognized, they're just being recognized by another fucking swinger.
Yeah, it's like
so they're not gonna. It's not like a judgmental crowd or anything. But a lot of porn stars don't go to fucking public clubs. Because they get recognized, you know. So they go to places like that.
That would end badly.
Yeah.
Yeah, Papa says, Tom and Jenny are not as kinky as we are, LOL, saying to CB. Yeah, like I said, we don't go to, we've been to fetish parties, been to fetish clubs. I've been to some, like, before I met him.
Yeah.
Shit like that, but it's just kind of like, I don't know, it's just kind of, we just dabble in it, I guess.
Well, there's little shows going on. The thing is, it was mostly half of them are the same people that are on the goth clubs, too. So it's just...
Yeah, like I said, there's a lot of overlap.
For us, it was mostly more about fashion.
Yeah, we're going to this thing, and it's just like watching other people doing shit.
Yeah, they're doing shit. They're doing shit on racks and doing stuff, but most places kind of have certain rules, you know what I mean? Like where you can't have like fucking... You can go topless, but you can't be bottomless in public because they don't have the licensing for that kind of shit. It's open to the public.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of stuff that they can't do. Now, the place like Secrets, they have fetish nights there that it's not open to the public, so they can do all kinds of shit there.
They still have rules though,
like
you can't be in certain areas with no pants on. I think you can walk around with your titties out everywhere, but
you probably don't care about topless.
No, I don't think they do.
You can get away with topless at a goth club, basically.
You probably could, honestly. You could probably just wear something see-through or just
you just wear a fucking fishnet.
Yeah, I don't.
Most girls will
will
have tape over the nipples, but it doesn't have to be. If a girl had a fucking awesome set of implants, she wouldn't put tape over them. Probably she'd just have a fishnet over it.
Yeah, well,
I've seen dudes fucking go in there. Sometimes it's just damn near naked, just fucking G-string and fishnets and leather straps.
Well, remember how fucking that dude at fucking Castle used to just walk around naked all the time. That old dumpy dude. And everyone's just like, "Yep, there he goes."
Yeah, it all just depends on who's there and what the night's like.
There he goes.
Yeah. How big of a night it is.
Yeah. I don't know. Like I said,
the bigger the night, the more outrageous it is.
Yeah. But, like I said, not too crazy. There's nothing that crazy going on.
No.
Nothing.
Just the clothes.
Yeah.
They're wearing shit you couldn't wear in a normal club.
Yeah.
Go wear that at a fucking hip-hop club.
No, I would not.
No. Or the jock meat market.
I wouldn't go to that anyway. Yeah. But it's just because those places are.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to give you some perspective of who might be listening to us. You couldn't wear that there. You couldn't wear that in a place that has a lot of civilians in it.
Civilians.
We don't consider ourselves civilians. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just a person, but I'm kind of a weird person. But that's
yeah. You used to get shit thrown at us.
I don't think I'm okay. Well.
I remember those days. Still kind of around, yeah.
I remember those days. It's not as bad as it used to be.
Not as bad as it was.
I remember back in the 80s, people would throw bottles at you from the car. You're just walking down the fucking street.
Yeah.
People thought you were Satanists or something. So they throw bottles at you.
What time is it?
Early.
Okay.
It's 9:30. Smugseed? 97. I saw Karate Kid Legends earlier today. Oh yeah, I just saw the trailer for that. Before my game. Critics are wrong about it. It's a great time. Had great action, characters, and visuals. I don't know, because I really, really liked Cobra Kai, against all odds. So when I kind of saw... Because I was never, a huge fan of the Karate Kid movies, even back in the 80s. I liked them, but they weren't my favorite. So when Cobra Kai came out, I was kind of like, oh, this should be a lark, but it actually ended up being really, really good. And so then I saw they were doing a movie. I was just kind of like, that might be worth watching. I don't know if I'd go to the theater and see it, but I'd probably watch it on streaming, though.
Papa's talking like he's been to Secrets. He says this.
Or I guess maybe something like that.
Something like that. Okay.
Like I said, I've never been there. We just know because
we just know people from.
We just know our friends that go there.
Yeah, and they would send us videos and shit sometimes.
So we've seen all the videos.
They're inviting us to go and shit. But that was a while back. I think what's his name? I think he got banned from there.
Well, I heard he got banned.
Yeah, so they probably don't go there anymore. But I haven't seen him out.
I'm not entirely sure why. I think from his perspective, I think it was some girl that had it out for him that reported him for something or other.
Yeah.
But I don't really know.
He said it was some kind of stalker.
Okay. I mean, that could be. Perhaps. But
a stalker that was complaining about him.
Maybe. I don't know. He's kind of one of those people in the
You're
scene.
Not quite sure to believe what he says sometimes.
That you know, that it's like some people are like defending him, and some people are like, nah, I think he's a creep.
Yeah.
But I'm not really sure. We've known him for a while. He doesn't seem like I was gonna say
he's a creep, but he doesn't seem like.
But
he's
not
dangerous.
like a dangerous creep.
Yeah.
Like, is that weird to say?
And we've known shit. He can't do anything.
And we've known his wife a really long time. Tom used to date her.
Yeah, he used to live with her.
Yeah, and he introduced them. Yeah. Actually, like after they broke up.
Yeah.
And then they ended up getting married later. They've been together longer than we have.
Yeah.
And she's delightful. Like she's a wonderful person. So it's just kind of like, I don't know. I kind of feel like maybe that kind of like bolsters his reputation somewhat, like because somebody that nice like wouldn't be. I don't know. Maybe that's a weird thing to say, but
I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know what they do when we're not.
They need
around.
to come out.
I know. I haven't seen them in a long time. I think the last time I saw them, was when Barbarella was still at the pickleball. Place.
What did what Papa say? What did they say in there?
Good night, all. We're going to enjoy our $6,700 Airbnb. Time to go make dinner and all around the fire next to the river. Ooh, that sounds nice.
$6,700 Airbnb. Damn.
How long you guys staying there?
Jesus.
A long time, I hope, because that's a lot of money. I mean, I'm sure it's fancy and everything like that, but you know what I mean.
Must be a fuck fest going on over there.
I mean, I hope it's a fuck fest. I hope you guys all have.
Go to the restaurant.
That's kind of like that fucking porn Tom put on last night.
Oh, that shit was so stupid.
It was like some, I don't know. He just picked it at random.
I just put it on because of the time.
Oh, because it was long.
It was long,
and it was just like some gangbang, and I'm like, holy crap! I'm just like, how many fucking people? It's like, it wasn't even a gangbang. It was just kind of like, it was like a big orgy, like in one room. We're just like, kind of every now and then we look over and watch it and be like, what the fuck is? How many fucking people is this? What's going on? How are these people not falling over? It was a whole thing. It was pretty funny. Like, that's what I mean. That's why I don't really like having porn on. Like, because I keep getting distracted. It's like, what's happening there? TVD Dragon says clubbing, alcohol, a McRib, and debauchery. I don't really, you know what? This might be a controversial statement. I don't really like the McRib. I don't understand why people get so excited about it. Tom likes it. I don't even know if they have the McRib now, because I know it's like a limited edition. Like we only have it like certain times or whatever. But so yeah, I don't really like that, because look, this also might be a controversial statement. I'm not a huge fan of like barbecue sauce. Like, I'll eat it, I don't hate it or nothing like that, but it's just like, if I have an option to have something else, like some other kind of sauce, I'll have that. I don't really like barbecue sauce that much. So the McRib is like, I'm just not excited about it. Normally when we go there, because like I said, it's the only thing that's open all night, normally I get a quarter pounder or nugs. I'll get nuggets with sweet and sour sauce. And that's about it. Tom will usually get a Big Mac.
Or 2 Big Macs.
Or 2 Big Macs. Although, here's the thing. Like, other day, we were out running errands. Yeah. And we ended up at a McDonald's because that's what was there. And I didn't think they had this anymore. But they have a double-decker filet of fish. Yeah. And I will submit, I honestly kind of like the filet of fish, just like the classic one. Yeah. But the double one is like way, way better. Because in my experience, every time I got just a regular filet of fish, they put too much fucking sauce on it. Yeah. Tartar sauce. And I like tartar sauce. But they put too much fucking tartar sauce on it. But because they have 2 things of fish and the same amount of tartar sauce, it's actually like a much better balance. It's much, much better. Much better. Like I said, I didn't even think they had it anymore, but we went in there and I was like, woo, look at that.
Bob said they're going to be there for 3 weeks.
3 weeks?
Yeah, and it's not going to be a fuck fest. Not tonight. He said. Okay.
Aw.
All right.
Well, when is it going to be a fuck fest?
In that 3 week period, there going to be some fuck fest.
Oh my god. Oh no, Samuxine has already seen Bring Her Back. So it's a 10-10 movie in my opinion. Best film of the year so far. Sally Hawkins is amazing in it, and the gore is gnarly as fuck. Really sad movie though. See, now I want to see it.
Papa said they're technically homeless right now.
Really?
No shit.
So you're just staying in an Airbnb like until
for $6,000 for 3 weeks? Damn.
Holy crap.
Jesus. That's rough.
That I mean, well,
there are hotels out there where you could get away with fucking like $300 a week, 400.
Yeah, but you wouldn't want to.
I don't know how big it is. Yeah, they might.
There's one that's kind of by the club that I think is. Well, how much is it? Yeah, I think it's like 300 something a week. But I don't really know if I'd want to. It's in an okay area, but not a great area. And I don't know if they've got bed bugs or I don't really know. I've never been in that fucking place. I kind of feel like hotels, because we used to, I don't know if Dan Bell does this anymore, but he used to do like Another Dirty Room. And he goes and stays. That's the name of his show on YouTube.
Yeah.
And so they go and stay in like the grossest fucking motels like possible.
Lowest rated hotels possible.
And the shit, and I'm always shocked at how much they charge for these shitholes that he is staying in.
Yeah, like $100 a night.
And I'm just like, there's no fucking way.
$60, $70, $80.
You could get in like okay, not great, but you could get like an okay room for $100, I feel like. But it's like now, it's like $100. The place is like, there's fucking roaches and like there's cum all over the walls and like shit. Yeah. It's like horrible.
Dead roaches.
Yeah.
I'd rather sleep in my fucking car.
I mean, some of the places he's been in.
V8. I sleep in that bitch.
I would, Like, some of the places he stayed, I'm like, I would legit... I mean, he does, go in there, like, the whole point of the show is he goes in there, he has, like, the spray that, like, lights up at different bodily fluids. And he pulls the sheets off, like, he pulls the mattress up. Like, he pulls everything out.
Yeah, there's jizz spray, splash
everywhere. So he's...
Where they're shooting up and fucking...
Like, for real, real, though. Like, most of the blood spray is probably just from people shooting up. But for real, though, he was in one room. I can't remember where it was. It might have been in Baltimore. He lives in Baltimore. So it might have been in Baltimore somewhere, but it might have been somewhere else because he kind of travels around. But there was one, and he turned over the mattress and, like, on the wall and stuff, and there was so much blood. I was like, somebody got murdered in this room, for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just like, oh, I'm shocked he hasn't found a body.
Papa said they're buying a new house and the fucking shit didn't go through, so they're kind of stuck. They got 8 people.
Oh man.
Yeah. Okay, so
that sucks.
8 people chipping in, paying for that. Well, probably got kids though too with them, so they don't have any money to chip in. So
that's kind of the hell of it. It's like 8 people like contributing. That's good, but you also need a place big enough for 8 people. So yeah.
If you ask me, bro. I would have run down to a local campground and stayed in a campsite for fucking...
That's not that fun either, though. Unless you can find it.
$6,700.
I don't know.
I'm trying to find a campsite.
Well, I mean, I would because I don't have $6,700.
I got tents and sleeping bags. I got everything. I can fucking sleep outside the car, sleep in the car.
Oh, Papa said, "Oh, LOL. Oh no, just 2 of us paying for it. Oh, holy shit, dude.
Oh shit."
Oh my god. I can't imagine. Man, it's just us and the cats.
Ouch. Yeah,
it's just kind of like still.
Yeah.
That's rough, man.
$6,700, you could buy implants for that.
Tom's mind immediately goes to...
you can buy titties for that.
Goes to boobs.
Damn.
Instead of just like sticks.
We might have to buy titties next year. Gens are getting to where fucking they were pushing 10 years old.
Well, don't make me think about it all the time, because now I'm like thinking, oh, they're going to explode. Like,
well, they don't explode.
I know they don't explode. I just said that as like I was being facetious.
It's just, that's about the time.
Papa said, we thought about camping, but it's still cold here in the Pacific Northwest. Yeah, he's in Seattle.
Yeah.
So it is still cold, which is crazy, because like down here it's like fucking roasting already.
Yeah, it's hot.
Like it's actually been hotter than usual. It usually is hot at this time of year, but it's been hotter than it usually is.
Yeah.
Like, I think other day it was... Well, today it was maybe 90, which is hot, but not... But the last couple days, like, I think it's actually been record-breaking. And we've had, like, bad storms, too. Like, the last couple nights, the storms have been really bad. Power's gone out. All that kind of shit.
CB said somebody watch the episode of Undercover Boss USA, and the guy
went shit over how dirty his hotels were.
Yeah. I
mean, I kind of feel like most hotels are... I mean, they're going to be dirty to a degree. Unless it's like...
hotels.
Unless it's like super, super high end. Because look, I kind of feel like even in mid-range hotels, like, yeah, they're gonna change the sheets and the pillowcases and stuff.
Remember when we stayed at with Dimitri and his wife?
Yeah,
that's actually mid.
Yeah,
and that was nice though.
It was, but we did. But on the other hand, we didn't have like a blacklight or nothing.
No.
So I was gonna say that it's like sometimes, like even when it looks clean, like if you brought a blacklight in there might be shit all over because they don't wash the walls.
There was no dead bugs or anything. It was nice, and it had a room and a living room and a kitchen.
Yeah, it was like a suite.
It was like a suite.
Well, he worked for that company. What was it? I think it was a Radisson.
Roundtree?
I think it was Radisson.
Radisson? I don't know.
Was it?
I don't remember.
It was a while back. Yeah. I thought he worked for Radisson. Like, I don't think he does anymore, but it's like he used to.
It's about like a Hilton.
Yeah, it was nice. It was like a little apartment.
Yeah, like a little apartment.
Like it had a little table and a little kitchen.
Yeah, he got a good deal on it because he worked for the company.
Yeah, like we just got it. And it was close to the castle, so we didn't want to drive back.
I think it was like $150.
Which is that's reasonable for something that decent. But I mean, I've stayed in some shitholes in my time.
Came with free coffee.
Well, I think they all do. They all do.
And free breakfast.
They all do.
Went down, got some breakfast. Yeah.
They all
breakfast buffet.
Yeah. Like I think most hotels have that nowadays.
Yeah. It was nice food from what I remember. It's all you could eat.
Yeah, I think a lot of hotels have that.
Yeah.
Where they have that all you can eat breakfast because it's cheap.
Yeah.
You know, it's cheap to just like do eggs and grits.
Eggs, bacon.
Have like little waffle stations out and all that kind of crap.
Bagels with fucking cream cheese.
I love that shit though.
And fucking milk and fucking orange juice and coffee and Danishes and fucking little rolls and
I wish I could eat more.
Yeah.
Because like I love breakfast. It's my favorite thing.
They had little omelets there, remember?
You can make omelets. Well, like I said, a lot of hotels have that now, and now they have like little stations with like waffle irons and they'll put all the batter out so you can make your own waffles and shit.
Make a waffle.
Yeah. I didn't do any of that.
And then they had the strawberry topping so you could have like a Belgian waffle.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, times like that I wish I could eat more.
Yeah, you can't eat it all.
I can't eat all that. Because it all looks good, and it's like I want all of it. But
basically, what I do is I'll usually like assemble a fucking a breakfast sandwich. I'll just get some English muffins. They call it a scone, right?
No, an English muffin is different.
What would it be in England?
English muffins are not.
They don't really have them.
Not really.
But no, it's close. It was based on a scone, I think, right?
Kinda.
Or yeah, I think it was based on a scone or a biscuit. Well, I don't know what the fucking British call it.
Well, the biscuit is a cookie over there.
Biscuit's a cookie, yeah. Just get that, put some fucking bacon or ham on it with some cheese. They have slices of cheese there. Put an egg on it. Make a sandwich out of it, and then a bowl of grits. With hard-boiled eggs. I throw the hard-boiled eggs in the grits.
In my experience, the grits at
they don't
hotel, they're not good.
You got to season them.
And honestly, even if you go to like Waffle House or something,
the
grits there are not good either.
They got shitty grits.
They don't season them.
No.
They don't season them.
No. Well, a lot of them will have like fucking Tony Chachere's fucking seasoning though in the hotels.
I mean, you gotta season them. You gotta put some and you gotta put a bajillion tons of butter in there too.
Fucking cheese, eggs.
Hard-boiled eggs in it is good too, and bacon bits.
Yeah.
But I mean, they really got to get dressed up. But the thing, I mean, Waffle House, they got cheap coffee, they got cheap meals.
Yeah.
But I will submit that their grits are not seasoned. So don't get anything with the grits. Their waffles are pretty good though.
Yeah.
But honestly, the last time we went to Waffle House, which was a few months ago probably. Yeah. It was too much. Like I was really hungry because we've been drinking the night before, so I guess I was like had some residual like hangover energy, and I was just kind of like, I'm gonna get this like the big like stupid breakfast that's like, and it's only like fucking $6 or something. It's like some ridiculously low price. And so you get it, and they bring all this, and I couldn't eat it all. There was no way. I thought I could eat it all. I tried to eat it all, and then it's like after I was like, I think I'm gonna barf. It's too much. It was too much. But like I said, I can't eat like I used to, much as I want to. I don't know why that is, but it's just I can't believe you're hungry. How can you be hungry again?
This is how I am.
We ate so much. I feel like we ate so much today. I don't know if I can, but CB said, me and my girlfriend stayed at a shit B&B. The food was the worst. At one hotel, the women's hair was in the food. I don't think... Like, I've stayed in some shit hotels in my time. But I don't think I've ever stayed in anything that bad. Although, here's the thing. Like, you know, I grew up pretty poor. So, my standards are perhaps not as high as other people's. Like, I'll roll with some shit that maybe other people wouldn't. Like, I'm not that grossed out by certain things, but I mean, some of the places that Dan stayed on Another Dirty Room, I would absolutely not stay there. Like I said, I would go sleep in the car.
Dan was going into crack hotels.
Yeah, he would deliberately like go out of his way.
Yeah, he'd go out of his way
to like pick up like he would be like pulling up the mattress and there'd be like used condoms and like
it's a crack
fucking you know hypodermic needles like under the bed. One time he found like a plastic bag full of panties, which seemed a little ominous.
They never, from what I remember, they never stayed in any of them.
I don't think they did. Well, they stayed there for a few hours because they were filming.
Well, they had to make the show, but I'm saying they never stayed sleep.
But I don't think they slept there.
They were like, no way.
Because they would go there like I think in like the late afternoon or like early evening, and then they'd spend like several hours filming until like 1 or 2 in the morning, and then they would leave and like go someplace.
You'd get another hotel sleeping because they had to drive out. They were driving far to go to those places.
I think they went to places specifically where people said that these places were like super gross.
Yeah, they searched for the worst ones.
Because they wanted to make a good show about how fucking gross these places were.
Yeah.
And you would be shocked. I mean, well, probably you wouldn't be shocked.
And he brought a health inspector with him.
Yeah.
Who's what was that guy's name? He's crazy, but bitch. He's got his
Rick
own
Serra.
Rick Serra. He had his own channel too.
Does he still stream?
Yeah, he's from Florida.
Yeah, he lives in Florida.
He lives here.
But
retired guy.
He's kind of funny.
Yeah.
He's kind of this dumpy like.
Yeah.
Dude in his 50s or 60s.
60s.
And he's just like a complete,
living in a trailer park here.
He's just a fucking complete clown.
Yeah, living in a retired.
But he didn't know his shit. Like his whole thing was he was like a health inspector.
Yeah.
Or like he was in construction, or that was like his job that he had to like go in. So he did that for a long time. So that's kind of how they
stuff and doing chemical tests, and he knew where to look.
Yeah, and like talking about stuff.
He knew how bad things were.
Yeah, it's just.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think one of the grossest things to me was how. You don't really think about it, but like I said, yeah, obviously you're staying in a hotel. Like a lot of people stay there before you, but it's like they don't wash the walls, right? So you go in there and he has the black light, and there is just jizz all over the fucking walls. Like especially like this one place, particularly like under the desk, because it had a desk like a lot of hotel rooms have, and just like underneath where the chair was, it was just like fucking. I was just like, okay, so. Many men have sat in that chair and just like jerked off and just like let it spray all over the walls.
They're piping porn into there.
Yeah.
And then they're bringing hookers into there. Crack whores.
And they're just like jacking it onto the
wall. Anything could happen.
And they're not like wiping it off or anything. Yeah.
They'll just blacklight that shit and they go, man, this place is nasty. And there's just fucking there's things up on the ceiling.
Yeah. I'm like, wow, that was quite a...
Yeah. Like, how did it get up there? Rick's like, you never can tell. Yeah.
You never can tell. What's going on. Like, you don't know what crazy shit went on in that hotel room. Seriously.
Yeah.
Oh my god. As Davey said, me and the girlfriend were going to a fetish festival, and the guy at the B&B asked if he could suck her toes. And we went to another B&B, but we reported him. Oh, Jesus Christ. What a weird thing to ask. I'm not really sure how I would react to that. Maybe I would let him, and then I would just kick him in the mouth. That's probably what I would do. Zach says, I still kiss Will from Miss. Okay, you still miss Will from Dan's videos. He was so cute. Yeah, he was really cute. I think they had... I haven't watched Dan's shit in a while, because he still live streams every Saturday night, as far as I know. Sometimes we watch it, sometimes I don't really have time to, because he usually just, like, drives around Baltimore. Sometimes goes to, like, abandoned places and whatnot. Or just, like, telling stories. But he's just kind of cool to, like, hang out with or whatever. But, yeah. I think they kind of had a falling out. But I guess they made up later. Because I think he did come back for a couple things. I heard he was doing another Dirty Room. Because they stopped doing them for a while. Like, he released some old ones that they had done that they'd never released, as far as I remember. But, I think they actually did do some new ones. or he said he was going to do some new ones, but I haven't really kept up with it. Like I said, I have so many fucking, I have so many movies I gotta watch. I got so much shit I gotta watch. I have so many videos in my watch later playlist that it's like I will just never get around to all of them probably. So I haven't kept up with Dan Bell as much as I probably should, because we used to, like I said, sometimes we would just put his live streams on, like when we got home Saturday night.
He has a lot of channels, man.
And he does, yeah, and he has more than one channel.
Film It is a really good one.
Yeah.
He has one where he goes out and fucking does these old like love hotels and abandoned resorts and shit.
Those are awesome. Like the ones he did, like where he goes to those like skeezy old like adult video stores.
Yeah, he's got so many patrons now that he doesn't really have to do a whole lot on YouTube. He does everything off Patreon.
Yeah.
He'll live stream just driving around telling stories and make a few $100. He's up in Baltimore. You know, it's kind of like the other Detroit.
He lives in Baltimore.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
It is kind of. There's like a lot of abandoned places.
Yeah.
There. Like some of it's nice, but like I've been to Baltimore actually, but
I lived in Detroit for a year. I loved it, but it was fucking depressing.
Yeah.
You know, it had a good goth scene though, but it's just like, man, it's like living in the apocalypse. Empty cities falling apart, empty skyscrapers.
Some people like that vibe though.
Yeah, it's just like that.
I get it. CB says, yeah, I only ask what at fetish bars, like what belly button type they have, but I would never ask someone who is not part of the fetish community.
I'll make you a half.
All right. DVD Dragon says, Florida, storms and heat. Keeps you wet and hot. Yeah, which normally would be a good thing, but I don't know. Like I said, I was born in Florida, lived here pretty much all my life, but I'm not a fan. I don't really like the weather. I'm not a hot weather person at all. I like cold weather. I like fall and winter. So it's like whenever spring and summer come around, it's like really depressing for me. You know? It's not too bad because, you know, our house is like has good air conditioning and we just got new air conditioners. So if you don't go outside, you know, you can kind of pretend that it's not, you know, fucking 4 million degrees outside. But you have to go outside sometimes. We just try to avoid it as much as possible, at least in the daytime. But I don't know. I don't like it. Some people love it. I don't. I don't like hot weather.
I love it here.
I don't like hot weather.
Oh, well, I don't really even think about the hot weather that much. I don't really like the hot weather.
I never liked it.
You just got to deal with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just part of the
You'd think I'd be used to it because I'm from here, but I never
hard to get used to 100% humidity. It's not the heat, it's the humidity.
It is very hard to get used to.
I was at Sinai Desert in Egypt. I lived there for about 6 months in the Army. Patrolled it. Foot patrol, vehicle patrol, OP-311 on the fucking desert island and shit with the other guys. And it get hot, man. 110, 120 degrees. But it was so dry, it didn't bother you.
Yeah, like, I've been out to the desert. Like, I've been to, like, New Mexico and stuff like that. And, like, it's hot. Like, it's 100, 120 degrees, something like that. But it's not the same.
And as soon as the sun went down, it cooled off. It got cold. It could get cold. As soon as the sun went down. Because there's nothing to retain no moisture to retain the heat. Here at 100 degrees to humidity.
Like I said.
100% humidity. It'd be 90 in the day. Sun would go down and it'd be fucking 85
and it's still hot. Well, that's the thing. Here, it kind of feels like in the desert, like it's hot, but it doesn't feel that bad. You know what I mean?
Because you can sweat.
Yeah, but here you can't sweat. Like you sweat, but it doesn't go anywhere. Like it doesn't
cool you.
It's supposed to evaporate.
Yeah, and cool you, but it doesn't.
Technically, but it doesn't do that. No. So you kind of walk around feeling like you're in a plastic bag.
Yeah.
Like you're covered with saran wrap.
A wet plastic bag.
It kind of feels like that, like all the time.
Now, if you're riding a motorcycle, it's not bad. I'll be wearing full gear, armor, and everything, but it's highly ventilated. It's got these little tiny holes in it. If you could hold my jacket up to the light, and the sun will shine right through it, even though it looks black when it's on me. It's just a mesh. And under those conditions, it's cool because you have airflow.
Yeah.
So your sweat actually works. I could ride around 100-degree weather here. It's not that bad when you're moving.
Yeah.
When you stop, you slowly start heating up. You're like, man, I wish this fucking lighted in, getting hot.
It's like, man, I can feel it running down my ass crack.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I was saying. You bitches, you got to wash your shit.
Well, especially here, in Florida.
Here, you constantly fucking touching up, fucking washing your junk, fucking, and
Well, yeah, like pretty
drying
much
everything off.
Well, I think we both take 2 showers a day.
3
morning and night.
I'll take 3.
And if you've been working out in the yard, he'll take one in the morning, he'll go out and work in the yard, take a shower, and then he'll take a shower again before he goes to bed. And then I'll take one before I go to bed.
Yeah, but I'll take one when I come back in.
Yeah.
And then I'll take another one before I go to bed, because I'm going to get in bed dirty. You're going to get in bed clean.
Well, yeah.
And you might have to have sex. You might have to fuck. I got to perform. I ain't going to put her through that shit. I got to perform. But no, I just like to be clean. I
do too.
This ain't fucking Boston or Europe or some shit like that where you can go 2 days without
where it's cold.
No.
I mean, here, shit, man, I've gotten out of the shower here, and then an hour later, I'm like, man, I feel like I need a shower again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I've seen some British fucking streamers, and I look at that dude, and I'm looking at his hair, and I go, that bitch hasn't fucking showered in 2 days at least. Fucking greasy ass looking hair and shit. You could never do that here in Florida. People would drive you out. You would just smell so bad. They were just like...
I mean, like I said, even if you shower once or twice a day here...
Yeah,
you still stink. It's really hard to stave off the stank because it's just so humid.
That's why body hair isn't all that cool here either. That's just more shit to stink and to spread your fucking stink.
Yeah, because you're just gonna be damp. You're
just
damp.
I shave my armpits. I don't have any armpit hair. I don't have crotch hair. I'll do my arms maybe once a month.
I have to shave. I shave my.
She shaves my back for me with the clippers.
Yeah.
I clip most of my body, but some of it I shave. You can't have a lot of body hair here and be hygienic
and comfortable and smell good. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, especially if you're going to be outside for any length of time, it's not fun.
Yeah,
not fun. DVD Dragon says you can even catch a fight at Waffle House, modern medieval times. Yeah, I don't think we ever saw. We used to go to Waffle House sometimes, back in the day, because where you used to live, there was a Waffle House on the way home. So sometimes we would eat at the Waffle House there, on the way back to his place. But I don't think we ever saw a fight there.
No, the fights are kind of rare here in Florida. Florida, in places like Waffle House, that's after you're drinking.
Well,
and this is a constitutional carry state. If you can legally buy a firearm, you can carry it. So a lot of dudes are packing. So you got to be fucking cool. It's not the old West.
Although when everyone's drunk, they're not really thinking about that. I don't think
it's not the old West. It's worse than the old West. Okay. But I saw a video of here in Florida of a mixed crowd of about half white, half black inside the fucking Waffle House, singing to some song. They're all singing together, drunk. Okay, that's actually closer.
Yeah, we've had that kind of shit happen.
Yeah.
I've never seen any.
And then in the comment section, it was people don't understand. The South is all about love. It mostly is. You're going to get some assholes, but the average person is actually easy to deal with here. And then somebody chimes in and he goes, yeah, and that's Florida. Fucking half of them bitches are carrying. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
we never ran into any problems, and we were all gothed out and shit.
Yeah, they don't
in a pretty redneck.
They're kind of used to that. They're kind of used to it. They have internet, so they know what that is. They go on Instagram.
We didn't really get some people would comment, but nobody was abusive or nothing. So far, we never really had anything.
Part of it is that in the rap scene, they know what a goth girls are. They like them, so they don't fucking talk shit about them. They don't think, well, that's a hooker. They're not like that. They're starting to get.
No, anytime I've had that happen was always a white dude.
So it's a white dude. You're starting to get black goth girls on Instagram and in real life, but most of them don't go to the club though. They don't know where the club is. They just something they saw on Instagram. They started dressing that way, But we know some of them. We know 2 of them, but they're kind of famous, which is the black goth girl. But on Instagram, there's a bunch of them. I've talked to some of them, and they don't go to any of the clubs. They just saw that fashion, they loved it, and they wanted to know more and more about it. You know what I mean? And I was just...
Which, like I said, I'm not averse to that. It's just it does kind of annoy me that I feel like the subculture has become divorced from the music, which was the main thing of it.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks.
The clubs were the main thing of it. Not
well,
so much
but you know what I mean. The music kind of all went together.
Yeah.
So it's like if you're just going to do the style because you just think it's a style or a costume or something like that, then that's kind of annoying. But it's just like I'm not going to get up in anybody's business because they like that look, because I like that look too. And if they're willing to learn about the subculture too, then that's also fine.
There's a black girl that I follow on Instagram that's into Lolita cosplay. Goes to all the cosplay conventions and shit like that. And she's a muscle girl. She works out. And what's her name? Knows her. Mouse. DJ Mouse knows her. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
she's playing at the Starry Night show.
Oh, yeah. She said she'd see us there.
Yeah. Because she's playing. There's 2 other bands. It's Dead Cool and Lust are opening, and she's DJing.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good night
at the Starry Night show. It's July 12th.
Yeah,
in Orlando. I've been working on the post.
July 12th.
I've been working on the post.
That'd be after my birthday.
That's after your birthday.
I'll be 56, I think, or 57.
Wait a minute. Wait,
July 1st, 69.
56.
56. Okay.
You'll be 56.
All right. So at least I'm not 57.
That's a good way of looking at it. I look
fucking great for 56, though, man. I don't give a shit.
I'll be 53 in September. I'm not worried about it.
I go look at myself fucking 6 years ago before I went back into training and I had my fucking hair and shit. Now I didn't look as good back then, man. I actually think I looked older in a way. I looked ragged, and I was starting to get fat. Yeah, just me.
You smoked a lot too.
Smoked a lot, and I was working out during some of that. It's just, I wasn't on test. Test fucking helped a lot of shit.
Well, yeah, that made a huge difference.
Yeah.
Like,
I did not lose my hair from shooting test. I was already losing it.
Yeah, before way before that happened.
So
he just decided to shave it.
Yeah, I would shave my head periodically, and then I let it grow back. Because I don't have any problem with shaving my head. I'm ex-military. So, I was used to seeing a shaved head. Didn't bother me. The main deal was to grow a beard. And I liked the addition. If I'm bald, I gotta have a beard. If I have hair, you don't quite necessarily need to.
Yeah, it's like
you gotta have some hair on.
It's like some kind of like even
contrast. Gotta have some kind of contrast.
That's what it is. Just for aesthetic purposes.
Yeah.
I get it. But yeah, I mean, I like you with hair. I like you without hair.
Yeah.
I like you both ways.
If I'm gonna have hair now, I'm just gonna fucking put on a fucking big old long fucking Conan wig.
That would be so cool if like you wore that to.
Where is my Conan wig?
It's in there somewhere, but it needs to be brushed. It's in there, but I'm not sure entirely where it is. It's either on that blue thing or it's behind all the clothes there.
Okay, no, it's right here.
But it needs to be brushed.
Yeah.
It's all messy.
Yeah, I got it.
You got it? Okay.
Got it.
Yeah, like all your wigs are in there. I have a couple old ones in there too, but.
I haven't worn a wig on the show in a long time.
I know everybody keeps like calling for it, and you keep like not.
Where's my fucking brush? Here it is.
Where's my brush? You mean? Okay. Don't use the one that has all Pookie's hair in it.
I'm not gonna use the cat brush.
That's Pookie's hair.
I'm not gonna use the cat brush. What are you talking about?
Pookie likes to jump up on the bathroom counter.
Yeah. And
get brushed. That was my brush, but it's her brush now. Because it's just all full of her hair.
See, there it is right
there. There you go.
There it is.
You didn't even brush it.
No, I got the brush right here, man. Okay. Give a motherfucker some time.
Okay.
Give a motherfucker. Look how pretty I am.
Because it looks
how pretty I is with all this fucking hair, man. Me and Glenn Danzig.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Tammy says, "Where's Phantom? He loves Tom in a wig."
Who's that?
Tammy said, "Where's Phantom?"
I don't know.
Because he loves you in a wig. Yeah, he's not here today.
Yeah, he's not here right now. He's missing it.
Yeah, he's missing the...
I'm more jacked with hair.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, I look like a fuking black metal.
Yeah, you look like you should be in a black metal band.
Yeah, it'd be like...
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
I would wear this bitch to the club.
You should. That'd be hilarious.
Be like that.
I wonder if nobody would look...
Heart of the devil.
Yeah, like no one would recognize you.
Oh, yeah. Heart of the devil.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
This is him brushing his pretty hair.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's used to me wearing different colored wigs, but I feel like everyone's just used to
Man, if I went to the club with this, people would be like, what the fuck? And I'd be like, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Bitch. I'm on Glenn Danzig status now.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Although Glenn Danzig's hair isn't really that long, though. I kind of thought...
Almost. It was.
I thought it was like shoulder length.
No. It was longer than that. Yeah, okay. A little bit.
I remembered it being like
it was a little bit longer than that. By the time the fucking Danzig 3, How the Gods Kill, it was almost this long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like it though.
I could never grow hair this long, not at my age. I'd look like a Klingon. I'd probably be bald in the front. It'd look like this. It'd look like this.
You look like you're like wearing a hood.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's awesome. That's awesome.
See, for those of you who haven't been with the show for a long time, this used to be part of the show. It's me getting fucked up and putting on all these crazy wigs that we have. I had a fucking Michael Caine wig.
Yeah, he dressed up as
start speaking as the
Hand. He dressed up as Michael Caine from The Hand one year for Halloween. It was a pretty fucking awesome costume.
Yeah.
If I do say so myself. So he had the wig was actually not obviously a Michael Caine wig. I think it was a Willy Wonka.
It was Willy Wonka
wig, but his hair
yeah
looked very much like Willy Wonka in that movie.
Yeah.
So it totally worked. I'm pretty sure it was a Willy Wonka wig. This is what we bought it as. I mean, it's like, look at that shit. Look at that shit.
I'm fucking handsome in this shit, man.
I know, look how pretty you are.
I'm pretty as a motherfucker.
You gonna leave that on?
You want me to leave it on?
Yeah.
I'll go to bed on this shit, man.
Really?
I'll be back there be like, fucking...
Yeah, all right.
Be like that.
Okay. Well, why you gotta slap me, though?
It's like donkey punching a motherfucker from the back. You gotta add some pain.
Okay. So you have that wig on, so now you...
Yeah. It's fucking Glenn Danzig fucking being sadistical. What do you call it? Sadistical.
Sadistical.
Remember, do you remember the song Sadistical?
Yeah.
Had the whips cracking. Whoosh. Your lies, because I'm now sadistical. That's a good song. That's a Danzig 4.
Tammy says you're pretty enough to get pegged.
See, she's always got to come at it. She's always got to come at it with
She's got my back always.
This female fantasy.
Uh-huh.
This female fantasy angle. I should make a porn fucking video with this.
You should.
Yeah.
We need to make more videos.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that earlier.
Yeah.
Like I said, we bought that whole ass doll for however many thousands of dollars it was. And we haven't even made any videos with it yet.
Yeah. Been busy, man. You're working.
I know, I have been busy. I haven't even had time to do like any book or movie reviews these last few weeks. I've had so much fucking shit to do.
Yeah.
But we definitely need to do some stuff with the doll.
Yeah.
Like, we do play with the doll.
Yeah.
Not on video. But we should probably film it one of these days.
Yeah. You gotta keep your phone handy. Because there's been some shit fucking we did, and I was like, man, wish your phone was here. I like getting a video.
We didn't get a video.
Yeah.
I know, I just never have it. Because I kind of always leave my phone in my office, like on the charger. Because it's like, I don't want it. I don't know. I'm not a big person that it's just kind of like, if I'm going to hang out and like watch movies or something like that, I don't want to be like looking at my phone at the same time. You know. I don't even like when we go to the club. The weird thing is like a lot of younger people will have their phones. But I've noticed at Barbarella, most people don't.
No, they don't play that.
They don't do that.
Because that's a faux pas in our scene, is to pull that damn phone out. That's something. The only people that have done that is those woo, woo. The girls putting their fucking get the fuck off the.
Yeah, most of our people like do not like even the younger ones. They don't fuck with their phones. They just keep them in their pockets or their purses. Yeah. They don't take them out. They're too busy like talking to people or dancing or whatever. They don't really.
Yeah.
I feel like the only people that usually do that is just like, hey, look at this weird place we're at, like all that kind of crap. But you don't get too much of that at Barbarella, honestly. Yeah. I just I put my phone in my purse and I leave my purse in the trunk because of the car in the parking lot because I do not want to carry my fucking purse around all night.
DVD Dragon got that. He says Tom's love for Florida is very different from that as a square.
I never get tired of that joke.
Yeah,
it's like so
very
funny.
different from that square. Yeah. Yeah. It's a pimp's love for Florida.
Yeah.
Florida's, well, when I was a kid.
It's interesting.
I was growing up, in between place. Mississippi and L.A. and, and through Southern California. Florida kind of feels the way Southern California did like in the 70s. It's about like this. Kind of semi-rural, but it had city areas and stuff, and you had a lot of cool people, but it was still not real overcrowded, and it was still pretty affordable to be. It was kind of like this. It had a very similar vibe, And people don't realize, like my Uncle Red, which I wrote about in the book, he was a country western a musician. Yeah. He played his gigs were mostly country western, but he could do rock too. He liked Ted Nugent and AC/DC and all that. But most of his money was made doing country western, because country western was huge in California. You would think, why is that? California was a huge cowboy country western scene in the 70s and 80s. Because it wasn't all city. But that was even popular in the city, too. Like a midnight cowboy type scene, you know what I mean? The gays liked fucking that cowboy look, that western look, too. They would fucking incorporate that. I think wasn't there a cowboy fucking Village People?
Yeah, that was
When I'm a cowboy, it was kind of like that. That was just part of the... It was cool. It was considered to be cool in the 70s.
For some reason.
I wasn't into it. But they thought it was very cool.
Like a rhinestone cowboy.
Yeah, exactly.
But CB says, oh, this is interesting. Phones are banned at the bar me and the girlfriend go to. We have to put them in a locker. See, I like that, though, because, like I said, they're not banned, obviously, like where we go. But I've noticed that nobody really takes them out.
Yeah.
Like every now and then they'll take them out and check them, but then they put them back. It's not a thing where everybody's on their phones. Like most people are, because like I said, most people know each other, and most people are into the music. So it's like they're too busy talking or dancing. So they don't really. Every now and then somebody will pop one out and take a selfie or something like that. But it's just like not really that common. And like I said, I don't ever take my phone into the bar because I don't like carrying stuff. Because if I get super drunk, I'm always, like, paranoid that I'm going to forget it. Like, I'm going to leave something somewhere, and it's going to be this big hassle. So it's just, like, usually at the start of the night, we park in the parking lot, and I put my purse with my phone in it in the trunk. And Tom will usually put his whole ass wallet in the trunk.
Yeah.
And just take his one card.
Just my card, yeah.
Because we don't want to carry stuff. I don't want to carry stuff. I don't want to lose anything. I like knowing that it's in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. See, I don't put it in the cabin. Because if you could break into the cabin, if you were able to do that, you can't get to the trunk.
Right.
Because it's a Panther platform. It was also used as police cars. So there's no way to get from the back seat into the trunk or vice versa. There's a firewall there.
Yeah.
And a gas tank.
Yeah. So we put all our shit in the trunk.
So if you want real security, you put it in a trunk.
So then, no matter like how fucked up I get at the end of the night, I always know my purse and my phone are safe.
Yeah.
In the trunk, and it's like all I have is my clothes. That's what's on me.
Now you could be said, well, the thing is if you get into the cabin, you can unlock the trunk.
Sure.
But the thing is, the temptation. They're looking through there with a fucking flashlight to see if anything's in the cab. If they see a wallet sitting there, they'll break in there and get that wallet.
But if they don't see anything,
they just move on.
Then they'll just like find some place that has that.
Yep.
Full Metal Nosferatu just showed up. Hey, happy Friday. Sorry I'm late. Tom, are you going for Ian Astbury from the Cult? Badass.
But badass, yeah. With that would work too, yeah.
Although he didn't have a beard, did he? Or a mustache?
No,
he was clean shaven.
Yeah. But he had hair like this.
He did.
Yeah. With a bandana wrapped around his head.
What does he look like nowadays?
He looks pretty good. The last I saw him.
I haven't seen him in a long time.
He's older.
I'm not a huge fan of the Cult. I like their old shit when they were still Southern Death Cult.
The Cult got very hard.
Because they were very death rock back in those days. They started out as like a death rock band.
Yeah. They ended up after they lost their fucking like mainstream, like the 80s fucking mainstream shit they were doing like off the Electric album.
Because I feel like Love and Electric were like those were massive.
Yeah.
But after that.
Well, no, they had another fucking. Or before
hit. That, or
they
after
had
that.
one. The one that came out after that was even bigger.
Which was what?
I forgot the name of it. I didn't own that album. It was after Electric. They came out with one that was even bigger, and that was during the time of fucking, Guns N' Roses. During that time, and it was actually some of the songs off it, from what I remember from that Cult album, were very good, but they were mainstream rock.
Yeah,
somebody's going to remember the name.
Like I said, I didn't have a lot of interest in it.
Then eventually, after all, they lost their kind of popularity. They kind of just became black metal. Yeah. It was fucking really hard. Pretty good. It started to get an edge on them. But it was like metal, kind of.
I kind of feel like the same trajectory happened to Fields of the Nephilim.
Although
they never got, like, any mainstream success. No. But they kind of went from, like, goth rock, death rock into, like, straight up black metal, pretty much.
It's because they wanted to play shows, and there weren't enough gothic shows.
Because I bought one of their older albums. I'm like, this is like black metal. It's like nothing like their early shit.
Well, there's more black metal shows than there is
that's
stuff.
true.
So that's where the people were.
I don't know a huge amount about the scene. Like, I used to do a lot of posters and stuff for shows like that in this area because one of our friends, Imani, was she's a promoter for... She did some goth bands too, but she mostly did black metal. Yeah. So I did a lot of black metal shows. I did like fucking album covers. I did all kind of stuff for like black metal bands. But it's like I'm not super into that kind of stuff. So, you know, I gotta pee.
All right, look.
Entertain the people with your pretty hair.
Shit.
Fling it around.
I don't need to be pretty to entertain. I just entertain the way it is. Let's see what everybody's doing. All right. CB says phones are okay. There's nothing new. Y'all ain't talking. Full Metal Nosferatu says, happy Friday, sorry I'm late. I thought you said that shit a long time ago. Let me see. Maybe I'm behind. Okay, yeah, I'm behind. Yeah. Okay. They answered me. Full Metal Nos talking about Ian Astbury. Yeah. 90s Ian Astbury had facial hair. Okay. Cap Guy says several of my older hot chili pepper seeds came up. I hope I have enough time to get the plants to produce before October. All right. Mr. Faster Than Light said Firewoman. Yeah, I remember that song, Firewoman. Full Metal Nosferatu said, I was driving home from my aunt and uncle's house and Little Devil came on. That was a good one. And then Nosferatu remembers the name of that album most time. It was called Sonic Temple. That's right. That was a huge album, man. I was in the army, and there was dudes buying it, so I didn't have to buy it because they were fucking playing it all the time. And I was like, man, you guys know who the Southern Death Cult is? And I go, who's that? They didn't know. They just thought it was like a random rock band. Who's that? Fucking Sonic Temple was the name of that album.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah, and fucking...
Yeah, I remember when that came out. That was pretty big. I forgot about that. I forgot about that one.
He said the Little Devil came on. Yeah, that was off of Electric. And that was a great album, man. When I first heard it, when I first heard that album, I didn't know they had gothic roots. I didn't know about the Southern Death Cult. I just knew about that one album. It was in Brazil when it came out. And I was like, this is really good, man. It's kind of like Sisters of Mercy. There's no guitar solos, but it's like hard rock, almost kind of like AC/DC. Yeah. And it has kind of a darker sound to it. Every song on fucking Electric had a nice driving sound to it. I liked it. It had a real good energy. And I was playing that alongside Billy Idol's Whiplash Smile a lot. That one, and then also fucking Duran Duran's Notorious. It all kind of blended together in that era. But Electric's a good album. Very elemental. It's not real complicated. It's just driving rock. Driving dark rock. It's weird
because to me, like, Notorious is nothing like those. Notorious was kind of...
It was of the time.
Funky.
Yeah, it was like funk. But it also kind of... It had a brass section.
Yeah.
It was good, though. I liked it. But I didn't...
I feel like Nile Rodgers probably produced that.
I'm not saying they sounded the same.
It was just like that vibe, yeah.
I've been playing them at the same time. It was that moment in time.
Because Notorious came out in '87.
Yeah.
Because I remember when it came out because I bought it on vinyl.
Yeah, and I think that's the same year that Electric came out.
Might have been.
Yeah, it was in my senior year. Was when I got it.
But I know for sure Notorious came out in '87 because I remember buying it.
And then I bought Love after I got Electric. That was the album that came before it. And Love was good, but it wasn't as good as Electric, I didn't think at the time. But I still liked it.
Seriously, like every single week at Barbarella, they almost always play She Sells Sanctuary. Almost every week. Maybe not every week. Because the thing about it, John Gardner, the guy that owns it, he DJs also. And he has a very vast appreciation of 80s music, and he knows some obscure shit. Like, he usually, like, he plays to the crowd, obviously. So sometimes he'll play, you know, stuff that's a little more popular depending on what time of night it is. But sometimes he'll, like, surprise me with, like, the shit that he comes up with. And he does try to, like, mix it up so it's not, like, the same every week, you know?
Case and Lee's there. I haven't seen you in a while. Lee, what you doing, bro?
Oh, yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
We have a traditional stage drama where a guy plays as a lion. Looks like Tom in a wig, for real. Yeah, there you go. Tom looks like a lion. There used to be a funny thing where, in the old Barbarella, which was Ibar, John always used to play Duran Duran's Planet Earth at like 11 p.m.
Yeah.
So it's like as soon as it was around 11 p.m., like you heard Planet Earth come on, and you're like, whoop, there it is. And he still does this every now and then. I think he just does it as a troll. But he would always play The Smiths, What Difference Does It Make? And then immediately after that, he would play The Smiths' Panic.
Well,
like he always played those two songs together. And so it's like, if you heard What Difference Does It Make, you'd always like it. After it was over, you're like, and then Panic came on. And you're like, and there it is.
Because that was the order that came, that's the order that they came out on Smiths 2, which is the greatest hits album. And came out in that order. That mix on that Smiths 2 album. Smiths' greatest hits.
What are you talking about, Louder Than Bombs?
No. Smiths' greatest hits 2.
Oh, okay.
There was a 1 and a 2.
I had those on vinyl, but I don't remember the order because it's I usually listen to Louder Than Bombs, which had both of the songs on it, but not in that order.
On the CD, which was orange, and it looked like a black and white photo that had been turned to orange.
Yeah, that's Louder Than Bombs.
No, it wasn't Louder Than Bombs. I can show it to you.
Because that's orange. But I'm just saying, I know that they had a couple. I don't remember what the greatest hits albums looked like because I didn't have those. Well, I had one of them, but I don't. I thought the photo was like sepia toned.
I think it was just called Smiths too.
With blue letters, but I don't know. I don't remember. But Louder Than Bombs I had on. Well, several cassette tapes because I listened to it so much that it's like my cassette kept breaking, so I had to buy a new one, and I had that on CD also. But I don't think those two songs were next to each other, were they?
Yes.
Maybe they were.
Greatest Hits 2? I think maybe, let me see. I gotta remember the name of it. I'll find it. I thought it was Smiths 2, but it's not.
Full Metal Nosferatu says, Jenny, my fiance, always gets startled by the intro of Duran Duran's Girls on Film from the camera sound. Yeah. Oh, he plays Girls on Film probably more than any other Duran Duran song. Like, every now and then, like, he plays Planet Earth a lot. Girls on Film, probably the second most popular. Hungry Like the Wolf, like, he plays that every now and then. Sometimes he'll throw you, like, a curveball, and he'll play, like, fucking, Careless Memories or something, which is always kind of cool. But I think I remember one time I requested, Is There Something I Should Know? He doesn't like that song, though, for some reason. Even though I really like that Duran Duran song. Like, he'll play it every now and then, but he gets kind of cranky about it. Or View to a Kill. He'll play View to a Kill every now and then. And he'll also play Arcadia, but only Election Day. Like, he doesn't play any of their other shit.
The Best of the Smiths 2. That one. Kind of orange.
Oh, okay. See, I don't think I had that one. I had the other one.
Okay. Best of the Smiths 2.
Because I was thinking of Louder Than Bombs, which had like, which was a huge like double album, and it had both of those songs on it, but I don't think they were next to each other.
I'm gonna show you.
But he always plays those, and he's been doing that for like years and years, so much so that it's like now that it's like kind of a joke. But he does play other Smith songs, and he plays like some Morrissey shit too. Like every now and then, like for some reason he'll play the Headmaster Ritual. Like he likes that one. Like, he'll usually play that one, like, really early.
Okay.
And if he's going to play Morrissey, he almost plays Last of the Famous International Playboys. He plays that one a lot. Or Glamorous Glue. He plays that a lot, too.
I think it was on this one.
Yeah, it might have been. I don't think I had that one.
Okay.
Because I already had all the songs that were on it.
What are we looking for?
What difference does it make?
What difference does it make? It's not on. It must be on part 1.
Yeah, okay, see?
Okay, part 1. Because I had them both.
Yeah, I just had one of them. I didn't have it. Well, because I didn't buy it because I already had all those songs.
Yeah.
on other shit. So I was like, I'm not buying this.
This one. It's this one.
Let me see.
That one.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That one.
That had different mixes on it, though.
Yeah. Panic, see? Some girls... No,
yeah,
the mix is not the same. Yeah,
no,
the mix is not the same.
Yeah. See, so there's no excuse.
So, okay,
for some reason,
on my on my CD, that was not the order.
He thinks that... Because I did have that one.
Yeah.
Those were different mixes, though.
Yeah.
They weren't the same.
They weren't the same everywhere.
And if you had... There was one called Hatful of Hollow.
Yeah.
That had some of the same songs, but they were different mixes, or they were live in the studio versions, so they sounded like significantly different. And Hatful of Hollow also had this really cool song on it called Handsome Devil, which wasn't on any of their other shit, which is a great fucking song. I don't know why they didn't like release it as a single, because it was really good.
Yeah, they don't quite have the same track list. Yeah. That wasn't the track list we had when I had it. It was Panic was after what now? He plays it?
He always plays What Difference Does It Make?
What Difference Does It Make, yeah.
And then Panic.
And it ends.
Always.
It's a perfect mix when it just ends.
Well, and I don't know if that's just because it is, or because we're so used to him doing that, because he's been doing that for years.
That's the way I heard it on the fucking album.
He doesn't do it every week. But it's like whenever he play, if he ever plays What Difference Does It Make, you just, when it ends, you're just like, you just wait for it, and then Panic comes on. Because he knows it's, like, expected, I guess. Because, like, all the people that have been there going forever, it's like, what? You didn't play Panic next? That's what you were going to play. Full Metal Nosferatu says, Is There Something I Should Know is a great song. Yeah, I agree. One of my favorites. I've always loved Duran Duran, even though I'm a lifelong metalhead. I mean, Duran Duran are objectively a great fucking band. Admittedly, I didn't get... I was into their shit until the 90s. That's true of a lot of bands, actually. I hated the 90s. But I think the last album of theirs that I bought was Big Thing. Which, when did that come out? Early 90s?
Yeah. 93 or so.
I think I bought some
92, 93.
Scattered stuff in there. Like that cover album they did, which was a little weird, but that was like okay. Like they covered 911 as a joke, which I thought was... I was like, that's a little bit of a misfire, but okay. But yeah, like their early shit, honestly, their first two albums, I still listen to those all the time. All the time. Tom's favorite is Notorious, like I said, from 87, which, when it came out, I was a huge Duran Duran fan in the 80s. And I had all their shit. I had all their albums, all the 12-inch singles. I had books about them. I was like, it was ridiculous. I was like a huge fucking obsessive. When Notorious came out, I liked it, but I didn't like it as much. I thought it was a little too, like it's a little too poppy, a little too mainstreamy. I wasn't really into it. Like their other stuff was mainstreamy too, but it still had that edge to it. Like I feel like their first 2 or 3 albums still had that kind of, it still had like a little bit of a new wave or kind of post-punky kind of edge to it. Whereas I feel like their later stuff got more... But some of their later shit is good too, though. But Tom even likes, like, what's that song they did, like, later on? Electric Barbarella, or...
Yeah.
They play that at the club sometimes.
Yeah, McDazz's Land. I had that album. It was okay. It's okay. That had half of the band of the Missing Persons.
Well, Warren Cucurullo, joined the band late. Well, he's in there full time, isn't he? Or he was for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I thought I think his brother was in there too, though. I think there were two. Weren't there 2 Cucurullos?
I don't know. I know he was in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was in Missing Persons too.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I kind of like, and I still really, really like their early stuff. Like I said, the first 2 albums I listened to those, like the one that was just called Duran Duran, which came out in 81, and Rio, which came out in 82. Like, I listen to those all the time. All the time. Seven and the Ragged Tiger is good also.
Yeah. The thing is, the Seven and the Ragged Tiger can be kind of like filler. Some of it's almost like filler.
Well, yeah. You could tell it was just kind of like a couple of good... So you had like Union of the Snake and New Moon on Monday, which were like the big singles, which are still fantastic songs. But a lot of it was, like you said,
kind of like filler. I mean, it was good, but it just didn't really...
Rio, every song on it is so good that starts to sound
like filler.
Every
song on Rio is good.
But it starts to sound like filler because it's been so overplayed.
Well, only Hungry Like the Wolf, really, off of Rio, and maybe the title track.
It's kind of like for you metalheads. I know I got you out there. Iron Maiden's Number of the Beast. It's great when you first listen to it, and then as more and more you listen to that shit over time, you're like, this is kind of filler. Because you know these songs so well. They were always on the fucking radio or they're on fucking videos. You get sick of it.
Yeah.
And now I can't listen to fucking anything off Number of the Beast except maybe like Hallowed Be Thy Name. Gangland, fucking that song sucked. The other song, like fucking Run to the Hills, that's just fucking filler. It's like, it's radio play filler. Number of the Beast, kind of like filler. The one I liked was fucking Peace of Mind and Power Slave. I think Power Slave was their best album, though. Although I liked about half of fucking Where Eagles Dare and The Trooper and shit off of fucking Peace of Mind. That was fucking epic. Although when they start getting into Masashi and fucking, I don't know, the Dune song is pretty good. Peace of Mind, probably. And Power Slave. The rest of it, after Power Slave, man, fucking Iron Maiden started to sound kind of weak compared to fucking Metallica. That Somewhere in Time album, I just couldn't get into it. And then they came out with some other shit. Fucking, it just got more and more fucking weirder and less like Iron Maiden and more like prog rock. It just started to get very prog rocky.
Which I'm not completely averse to, depending on how it's done, because you could argue that, since we're talking about Duran Duran, like Arcadia had a lot of prog rock elements, but I think they were utilized pretty well. But the thing about it, okay, so Full Metal Nosferatu says, Jenny, my stepson, surprised us one night while we were having game night. We were playing Scrabble. And my fiance would have me play Duran Duran, and he started singing Come Undone. Apparently, he knew a cover version of it.
Yeah.
Come Undone is a great song, I will say that. But the thing about it, like I said, the thing about Rio, though, is that even though, okay, I would agree that Hungry Like the Wolf is, yes, overplayed. That was all over MTV back in the 80s. Everyone knows that song. There's been a bajillion covers of it. And maybe the title track, maybe even Save a Prayer, even though that's still a great song.
I love that song.
But that's still a great song.
Yeah.
But every other song, but man, fucking New Religion, Last Chance on the Stairway, there's so many good fucking songs on that album. It's just all of them are good. The Chauffeur, like, that's a great fucking album.
She always says that Notorious is my favorite album. It's my favorite studio album. Okay. But really, the best Duran Duran album is Arena, which was the fucking live album.
It had one studio track, which was The Wild Boys.
It had Wild Boys on it, yeah.
It came out in 84.
That was...
The Wild Boys is also a great song.
And it's because Duran Duran Live had a lot more of an energetic fucking sound to it, and it wasn't quite as polished, which made it sound better to me. You know, fucking... Even though I liked the polished shit, too, it's just that Arena album is the one you want to get if you never had any.
You know what? I don't even remember if this was on Arena, or I think it was just like a B-side of a single off of that.
Yeah.
But Duran Duran Live used to do a cover of Cockney Rebels' Make Me Smile, Come Up and See Me. I have it on my Spotify, and that is a great cover. It's so good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a great song, like, to start with, but they did a really, really good version of it. And it's live. It's not, I don't think it's on Arena. I think it was it was a B-side.
All right.
Because I had a bunch of singles from that. Because I used to buy everything Duran Duran. I mean, I had piles of I had 12-inch singles. Remember 12-inch singles?
Yeah.
That had, like, club mixes and all that other stuff. I had all of that, of, like, every single one of their stuff. So I know, like, all their B-sides and all of that.
For me, Simon Le Bon, in a way, sounds better when he's being a little bit rough and making some mistakes. It just sounds cooler to me, you know?
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
Full Metal Nosferatu says, oh, also, Jenny, remember my dog, whose 1 year gotcha day is Sunday. Her name is Rio. Does she dance on the sand? Yeah. Okay. Also, Tom, have you heard Total Eclipse, Not of the Heart? That was a B-side from Number of the Beast.
No. It sounds familiar, though.
Was that a cover of that Bonnie Tyler song? Because that would be super funny.
No, I don't remember hearing that one. No. I remember hearing of it, but I don't think I ever heard it. It was weird. Back in the 80s, I came across, I think, an album. I think it was by Lionheart. And it was fuck, what's the singer's name? Not Paul Di'Anno. The other one. It was the band he was in before. I think it was called Lionheart. Or it might have been Samson. Maybe, I think it might have been a Lionheart. And he had some fucking good songs with that band, too. What's that guy's name? Fucking Bruce. Bruce, isn't his name Bruce? Bruce Dickinson. That's what his name is. I think it was a Lionheart album. Or maybe Samson. It was something like that. And it was right before he went on Number of the Beast. It was pretty good. Pretty good. I don't remember what names of any of the songs, and it wasn't a bunch of songs. It was like only like 4 of them. It was like an EP, you know. And I liked it. It was pretty good. You could tell it was Bruce Dickinson.
Casey Lee says, "If you guys listen to L.A. Witch, I have not. I've heard of them, but I have no listen to them." Next Dimension Media says, "Was Sparks considered punk back in the day?" I would classify them as post-punk, probably. But they get played at the club every now and then. I actually quite like Sparks, but I think they're kind of more classified as post-punk. I don't know. I'm not an expert, but I'm just saying. He's like, I only bring it up because I watched Roller Coaster last night. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember the Duran Duran movie that was tied in with Arena? I had it on VHS back in the day, so I do remember. Full Metal Nosferatu says, didn't Russell Mulcahy, the director of Highlander, direct Wild Boys? He did. Actually, Russell Mulcahy directed several of their videos. He might have done... I think he also did Hungry Like the Wolf, Rio, and Save a Prayer. I think he did most of their iconic videos from the Rio era. But yeah, he's Australian, is he not? But yeah, he went on to do Highlander and like some other movies and stuff like that. But yeah, he directed, I think, all of the iconic Duran Duran videos from the 80s. Russell Mulcahy did. Yeah, Full Metal Nosferatu also says Samson. Total Eclipse should have been on Number of the Beast.
What should have been? What?
Total Eclipse, not of the Heart.
Okay, yeah, should have been on Number of the Beast, but they didn't put it on. Yeah.
Yeah,
Samson, that's right. It's been so long since I heard it, I could probably find it. For some reason, I was thinking Lionheart, but I don't know where I got that. Maybe he was in that band, too. But I was also into Saxon. I like fucking Wheels of Steel, Denim and Leather, Power and the Glory. They had some good albums back in the 80s. Wasn't as good as fucking Iron Maiden. And Saxon and Motorhead would tour in a lot. I'd take Motorhead over Saxon, but there was something about Saxon and Biff Byford back in those days I liked them. I thought they were pretty cool. They had a really good live album. I think it was at Hammersmith, I think. Saxon live album. I had that. I don't remember the name of that album. I might be getting that mistaken with a fucking live Motorhead album, though. It's been so long. I don't even have any of those albums anymore. But I think a lot of people forgot about Saxon. They got soft, though, over time.
Don't we all?
Yeah, they did. Then the Ultra Macho Manowar. Remember that band? That was so cheesy as fuck, man. Manowar.
That's why I couldn't really take all of that stuff super seriously.
Manowar got really fucking cheesy. And I think those dudes were on steroids too. I think if I remember correctly, I think all those dudes are super jacked.
I mean,
it's
that's
like
why
Gwar or something.
I mean, well, at least Gwar.
Yeah.
Were like being ridiculous on purpose.
I think Manowar was being ridiculous kind of on purpose.
But the fact that you couldn't tell.
Yeah. Well, it was kind of like Anvil. Anvil was serious as shit, but they were fucking ridiculous as fuck.
But they didn't seem to know they were ridiculous, which actually just kind of made me feel bad for them.
Manowar was a lot better than Anvil, though. It was a lot better.
Well, poor Anvil.
Yeah.
Remember we did like a whole thing about that fuking documentary we watched?
Yeah, those guys.
I don't know. It just really made me sad because they just didn't seem all that self-aware. Yeah. You know, like it would be different if they knew like how cheesy and retro and shit like that it was, and just leaned into that and played into that aspect of it because people would love that.
Yeah.
But the fact that they took themselves so seriously.
Yeah.
It makes it hilarious, but I don't really know. I don't know. It's kind of the same thing as, you know how we've talked about, you know, what makes like a bad movie that's so bad it's good, or a bad movie that's just bad. And a lot of times, like, a bad movie that's so bad it's good is made by somebody that thought they were making a good movie and just completely lost the fucking plot and shit the bed and whatever, and just made it completely ridiculous and stupid, and you know what I mean, and had no idea what they were doing. So it's much funnier if the shit is like taken seriously.
Nosferatu, he remembers Samson. He's even naming out some fucking songs and shit. Like I said, I only had that little EP, and I didn't have the album. Somebody recorded it for me, so I just had it on a little fucking cassette tape that we had back then. I don't remember the name. I think it only had 4, 5, 6 songs on it. I remember one of them was a cover. I think it might have been Proud Mary. From CCR.
Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Yeah, I think it was Proud Mary was on it. The rest of the shit was originals, and I can't remember, but I just remember thinking it was pretty good. Pretty good. I thought it might have been Lionheart. I don't know where I'm getting at. I don't know what band that is, but that just kind of came to mind. Lionheart and Samson, but you got it. It might have been Samson. But hearing Bruce Dickinson doing Proud Mary, that was a trip.
Well, we were just thinking the other day because Judas Priest did a cover of Diamonds and Rust.
Yeah.
The Joan Baez song.
Yeah.
And it's actually quite rad.
Well, it's better than the original.
I'm kind of into it.
Yeah,
I'm kind of into it.
Joan Baez's version was just all over the place.
Well,
I can see how he got inspired by it, but it's a totally different song.
Yeah.
It's actually rearranged, but it has some order to it, and it's a musical order. But Baez is just all over the place. It's like she's ad-libbing it. What it sounds like. Well, she might have been. But no, fucking Rob, man. Rob, he could crystallize us. He could take a cover and just crystallize it and turn it into fucking an epic fucking metal song. Like Green Manalishi, the original fucking sucks. The Rob's version of it is fucking awesome, man. Green Manalishi with a 2-pronged crown. And you don't know what he's talking about. Like something off of fucking Star Trek. Like the alien chick that can suck all the salt out of you. It's like that. You know, what is a Green Manalishi? With a 2-pronged crown, creeping around, trying to drag you down. Fucking, it's an old blues song. Just the dude's girlfriend was a Green Manalishi, whatever that is.
Well, you know.
Yeah.
Full Meadow says, Jenny, we saw Guar signing autographs at a horror convention, and the first thing Odorous Orunga shouted when they arrived was sluts. That sounds like them, all right. Yeah. I have seen Guar. How many times have I seen Guar? At least 5 times. They used to play here all the fucking time. And me and my brother and all of our friends used to go. Seen Guar a bunch of times. Jenna Torturers used to play here all the time because, you know, Jen is from here.
We used to run into her. We ran into her a couple times, wasn't it?
Yeah, we saw her at
Firestone.
Firestone. What show was that? Was it Skinny Puppy?
No.
Was it Comic Christ?
I think that's what it was. I think it might have been Comic Christ.
I don't remember what show it was.
Something industrial.
But she was at the bar.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of shows that I don't remember. I've seen so many shows I don't fucking remember what they all were. But I know I've seen Guar many times. Many times. And I remember many head injuries sustained in the pit.
Full Metal's talking about Green Manalishi off fucking Unleashed in the East. That's one of the best live albums of all times, is Unleashed in the East. And there's an expanded version with the original order out there on the internet. You want to check that out. Because the one that came out on the album that we know, the classic album, the order's different. And about 3 or 4 songs are missing. There's an expanded version of that. And evidently that was not a real live show. It was supposed to be more like live in the studio, evidently. I don't know. There was some kind of trickery done with it. It was live, but I think it was kind of an artificial assemblage of fucking live stuff. And it may have not have been a fucking normal show. It might have been a very limited crowd. You know, they're recording it live in studio. It was something like that. But they made it seem like it was a huge, epic stadium show. But that's one of the best live albums of all times. I still listen to it. Fucking The Sinner on that album is that is a fucking awesome song, Sinner. Which I was trying to figure out what it is he's talking about. I think he's talking about Mars, God of War, I think is what he's talking about. And then the live version of Exciter. Yeah, that was like the original version of Painkiller. Just everything on that album is fucking epic. Tyrant and Genocide, he plays them fucking back to back like that. It's fucking great, man. And then the live version of fucking The Ripper, the Jack the Ripper song. Yeah, everything was good on that. Running Wild was good on it. I don't even like that song.
CB says, okay, it's 3:45 a.m. here in Scotland.
All
Good night, Tom and Jenny, and everyone in the chat. Good night, CB. Thank you very much for hanging out. Full Metal Nosferatu also says, when Halford sings Victim of Changes, man, the Banshee screams are unreal.
Yeah, Victim of Changes. The live Victim of Changes is also good, man. Yeah.
I still got to read you the rest of that Rob Halford
you got
autobiography.
Yeah.
It's just right back there.
Yeah.
I started reading it, but I just haven't got a chance. We bought, you know what's funny? Our bedroom, y'all, is so dark. It doesn't have an overhead light, or a fan or anything. So it's like we have like little lights, but it's not enough to read.
Little spotlights and stuff.
Just little spotlights and stuff. So Tom's like, I'm gonna get a little fucking like you can clip on a book so I can read.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, and then I can borrow it sometimes too, because sometimes I would like to read in bed, but it's too dark in there.
Yeah.
So he bought one. It was like $6. We'll see if it works or not. We finally got one. Kaysen says it's 8:15 a.m. where they are. That's crazy.
Kaysen was saying his friends took steroids and it cracked his fucking skin. Then it's not steroids.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never heard of that happening.
You gotta understand something, Kaysen. You got fucking young dudes who don't know shit are not supposed to be fucking with steroids or anything. They don't know what they're doing. They're just gonna say, "Hey, I got a bottle of steroids. What kind is it? Oh, I don't know. It's some kind of steroid, you know. I'll inject some of that.
Why not?
And they might get jacked in a little bit. But then that shit runs out, and then they get fat. And they go, what happened? Why doesn't my dick work? Yeah, because it killed your natural testosterone production. You can never inject steroids as a standalone. It's got to go with all kinds of shit. You can only inject steroids if you're already on testosterone. You got to take test. That's the base. Because if you inject fucking steroids or test, your own natural production will shut down. Because why would your balls make test? It's got more test in your fucking system than it's going to go, I got plenty, so it'll just stop making it. So if you inject fucking a steroid without testosterone, your body will think, that looks like test. So I'm going to shut my shit down. But it's not test. It just looks like test. So it's not bioidentical. It can't do all the functions in your body that test can do. When that shit wears, you're going to start feeling sick after about 3 or 4 weeks. Because your testosterone's low, even though you got steroids in your body, because it ain't test. And then when you run out of that fucking steroid, you're fucked. Your testosterone is fucking in the dirt. You're not making any, and then all of a sudden you're fucking like, I feel sick, and then all of a sudden you're putting on all this weight because your fucking metabolism's all fucked up. If you're gonna take steroids, you got to have a totally synthetic fucking hormonal fucking system. It's a whole bunch of shit you got to take to balance all that out and to make sure everything works. That's why all those dudes in high school got fucked up taking that shit back in the 80s, because they just, I'll just put that in. No, the way you did it was kept secret over there on Muscle Beach with the fucking pros. They knew you had to run test, and then you put steroids on top of it. And then they knew if you wanted to fucking shoot live blanks without your shit shutting down, you had to take things like Clomid or HCG to keep your system running. And you can't fucking inject a bunch of shit out of the fucking blue. It takes time. You start off small, and you get a resistance and a tolerance to it, so you can up your dosages over time. But we're talking about years, not weeks, years. All those pro dudes that are huge, they've been on steroids for fucking 10 years. A lot of them. And they can tolerate them because they did it slowly.
Well, people just want like an easy.
They want an instant shit. Nothing's instant.
No, you gotta like do shit over a long time, and
you
have to like figure out.
And you gotta study.
Yeah, like you have to figure out like what's gonna work for you.
Yeah.
And the same shit doesn't work for everybody because everybody's different.
You gotta try it out. Some shit doesn't work well. Like Tren, I couldn't take it.
Yeah, some people can, but
yeah.
I mean, it seems pretty common that most people have like pretty fucked up side effects.
It was not rated for human use. It's for cattle.
There's a definite reason.
There's a reason why. It was originally made for humans. They gave it to humans and it drove them crazy.
Some people can take it and don't have any side effects, but I think they're in the minority.
Yeah, they're in the minority. And it was made for humans. It was just a 19 nor testosterone. But
after they saw what it did to most dudes, they pulled it from the market. And then they said, well, cattle only.
Honestly.
Veterinarian use only. Okay. Yeah. That's what it became. But the thing is, it's not like the perfect steroid. It's very dry. You don't hold on to a lot of water. You build a lot of muscle. But it makes you fucking crazy.
It does, yeah. Turns you into an insane person.
Turns you into the Goblin.
Pretty much.
Out of fucking Spider-Man. Or Werewolf.
Full Metal also says, have y'all heard Halford's holiday albums?
No. Is it good?
Oh, now.
Have you heard Billy Idol's
You're going to have to look, because I was going to say, we have the Billy Idol Christmas album.
Billy Idol Christmas album is good.
We do not have the Rob Halford Christmas albums, however. We might have to get that for this year.
Yeah,
because we play the Billy Idol whenever, like, every year.
Yeah, the Billy Idol when he's just doing fucking Frosty the Snowman and fucking Holly Jolly Christmas and all that shit. And he does it straight. It's not rock.
Well, yeah, Full Metal says he does Winter Song and Good King Wenceslas.
Yeah. A lot of, fucking Halford did metal. He performed, but he does like it. But his personal music that he listens to, he liked a lot of folk and classic type music and a lot of female vocal type music. He liked Joan Baez and shit like that. He'd listen to fucking Dolly Parton. He'll just he was metal was just his job. He was innovating in it, but that wasn't all his musical taste. He liked everything.
Well, I kind of feel like that's kind of what makes the best artists is that you don't really restrict yourself to just one genre. Like, you listen to, like, a bunch of different stuff. Yeah. Like, it's good to have, like, a wide kind of variety of stuff. Get influences from different areas. That's always
And what's
good.
funny is that, I remember fucking in the 90s when he came out, people were like, oh, man, he's gay. And I says, what are you talking about? He's always been gay. He's been out. Didn't you buy Sin After Sin?
Did you guys listen to the words or no?
Did you listen to the lyrics of Raw Deal? He's talking about going to Fire Island.
Yeah.
And fucking, you know what I mean? He hit the spike about 9 o'clock on a Saturday. That's a fucking gay bondage club. And he fucking has all kinds of weird shit happen to him. So there's leather cops playing rough stuff. What the fuck do you think he's talking about?
People must have been very naive back then.
Yeah.
Or like I said, they weren't really listening to the words, I guess.
Yeah.
Because if you listen to the words now, it's very obvious what he's talking about. Very obvious.
Love knoweth no laws. That's what he's singing at the end. Love knoweth no laws. It's a quote,
Full Metal says, Billy Idol's cover of Oh Christmas Tree is my favorite on the holiday album. That's a good... I really like that album, honestly. I like that. I have a couple of goth ones, too, but I don't listen to those ones as much. But I do like the Billy Idol one.
Yeah.
All right, you seem like you're getting kind of...
Yeah. I'm getting kind of hungry.
What do you want to eat?
I don't know. We can go run up to Circle K if you want to. There's all kind of shit up there.
Well, it's up to you.
All right, let's go.
I don't really care.
Shut it down, Jen. I don't feel like cooking.
Okay. All right, so we are going to shut it down for this evening. It's almost 11 o'clock.
We got to go to the club tomorrow. We'll be back next week.
We got to go to the club. But we can sleep until noon tomorrow if we want to.
Yeah.
If we want to. Although I can't do that because the cats wake me up at 7 o'clock being like, hey, feed us. So, I have to get up early, whether I want to or not. But yeah. So thank you, everybody, for hanging out with us this evening. It's always fun on Friday nights. Thank you, everybody, for your super chats. You guys were very generous this evening. We always do appreciate that. We'll be back on Monday. I don't know what the movie's going to be. We haven't figured it out yet. But, we've taken some of your suggestions under advisement. Maybe we'll go to the movie theater and see the new stuff, because I do kind of want to see that. But, I don't know yet. So yeah, have a good rest of your evening, you guys. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you guys again on Monday night for the movie review. Good night.